Chapter 980. Rumble. A clap of thunder rang out. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. The blood-red color that had just dissipated became even more intense. In the blood-red sky, a dark great path appeared and collapsed in the blink of an eye. The great path collapsed. Another true god had fallen. The surrounding area was eerily silent. The ultimate battle had not yet begun, and two experts had fallen. The collapse of the great path meant that the other party was a real true god, not experts like Ling Xiao and Di Hao who had fallen in realms. The so-called falling in realms meant that the great path was blocked again. Now, the collapse of the great path meant that the true gods had died. The great path was unimpeded. Ha! True gods seem to be worthless now. Someone in the crowd sneered. Needless to say, it was from the human side. In a short period of time, two true gods had fallen in succession. At this moment, some of the weaker true god experts were a little frightened. Blood was going to be shed today. The battlefield of the true gods had not been broken yet. In the distance, King Pingshan's face was full of fear. This was only the entry of a divine general realm expert, yet two true monarchs had already fallen. Once the battlefield of the true gods was broken, wouldn't more people die? King Pingshan looked around. At this moment, many experts looked indifferent, as if they were used to it. Used to it was a terrifying expression. This meant that this time, these experts all had the intention to kill. They all had the intention to kill experts. King Pingshan stole a glance at King Wu and the others. They all had sneers on their faces, which made his heart cold. He looked at Fate King, who was also smiling faintly, which made his heart even colder. King Feng and King Hua were indifferent. Li Zhu continued to cough, as if he was about to die. But King Pingshan seemed to see something different. Li Zhu's expression was indifferent, as if the death of a true king was nothing. We are true kings. We are legends. Why do these people seem to think that we can die at any time and that our deaths will be in vain? King Pingshan was frightened. Today, these top experts were prepared for the death of a true king, but he was not. He did not want to die. King Pingshan subconsciously looked at King Huai, the weak true king expert. But this glance made King Pingshan's heart even colder. King Huai was also extremely calm at this moment. He looked up at the sky, thinking about something. There was doubt, there was melancholy, but there was no fear. Then he looked at the Bamboo King and the Green Wolf King, the true monarchs who had participated in the battle that day. All had different expressions on their faces. Some of them were incomparably cold, as if they all knew something. They all know something, but I know nothing. King Pingshan was at a loss. Am I still a real king? These people all seemed to know the inside story, such as who had died, but he really didn't know. Even when some experts were talking about the ancient, he didn't understand much of it. For emperors, 8 kings. He didn't even know. Everyone has their own plans, but this king knows nothing about it. Damn it! King Pingshan wanted to run, but he could not escape at this moment. He did not dare to run. The true monarch of God Continent was here. If he were to run away, he would probably incur the hostility of everyone. In order to stabilize the morale of the army, Fate Monarch and the others might even use him as a sacrifice. What should we do? What should I do? King Pingshan was anxious. He was afraid of death, and he didn't want to die. He was still young, and it hadn't been many years since he became a true king. This king only wants to be an overlord peacefully, to be a Dao ancestor king in the Pingshan region. Why do these trivial matters always come to me? These guys, what are they plotting? Just like this king is a fool. I don't know anything. King Pingshan cursed in his heart. He had a feeling that something big was going to happen today. No, something had already happened. More than 1,000 god generals had died, and 2 true monarchs had already died. This seemed to be just the appetizer. How many true monarchs were going to die today? What should this king do? King Pingshan's heart was filled with worry. He was worried that if he wasn't careful today, he would die. This wasn't a groundless worry. That was how the weak felt. Who asked him to be weak? Out of the hundreds of true monarchs present, he might not be the weakest, but he should be in the bottom 10. Those so-called emperor-class experts wouldn't take long to kill him. For an expert like King Wu, it would only take him 8 to 10 moves to kill him. King Pingshan looked around before looking at the human side. He quickly shifted his gaze. There were weak, true monarchs here, but he didn't dare to fight with them. These people were crazy and didn't care about their lives. Looking at the Godland side, they were considered his own people, so he couldn't attack them either. In the void, King Pingshan's heart palpitated just by looking at the experts from the other sky and overseas immortal islands. These places had more emperor-class experts than true monarchs. Then, who should this king spar with when the time comes? King Pingshan was filled with grief and indignation. He couldn't find an opponent. He felt that anyone would be dangerous. How about I find a god, general martial artist to fight with? King Pingshan was hesitant. This was too embarrassing. However, for the sake of his life, perhaps he could give it a try. Ling Xiao from Mount Wangu, Jiang Kuei from Mount Weiyu. Sai, this is a headache. The elders of these people are all experts, and they are all emperor-class experts. Moreover, they might not be enemies. It's not convenient for me to attack. The only place that might be enemies is the land of rebirth. Many people from the land of rebirth have left. Do I have to deal with others? But if I were to deal with the martial artists from the land of rebirth and kill them, King Wu would go crazy. King Pingshan was in a dilemma. If he killed them, he was afraid that King Wu would be beaten to death if he challenged him to a one-on-one fight. If he did not kill them, he was a true monarch. He couldn't kill a few god generals. Wasn't it obvious that he was going easy on them? Even a life king could get even with him. Sai, if there's a half-step true monarch, similar to Qi Huanyu, I might be able to fight with him and win. I won't be able to kill him, but I won't be injured. I'll have an opponent. King Pingshan had a good idea, but he felt a little regretful. Even Kong Lingyuan, who was ranked 3rd, didn't have that ability. It's a pity that Zhao Xingwu has broken through. Otherwise, I could fight with him. In other words, Zhao Xingwu, who had broken through, was not prepared to fight with him. His opponent was extremely powerful when he was in the god general realm. Now that he had broken through and stabilized his realm, he might be even stronger than King Pingshan. He dared not fight an opponent who was stronger than him. He was afraid of death. King Pingshan was in a dilemma. Forget it, forget it. I'll wait and see. If it doesn't work, I'll fight with the newly promoted true monarchs from the land of rebirth, such as Zhang Weiyu or Chen Yaozu. There were so many true monarchs in Godland this time. When the time came, many people might attack one. That would be much easier. Also, the second monarchs had not appeared yet. If there were some half-step true monarchs under the second monarchs, he could give it a try. As for the true monarchs, forget it. Many of the second monarchs, men came from the demon emperor god dynasty. They had conquered the 3 realms and were extremely powerful. He dared not court death. Looking around, King Pingshan suddenly felt very helpless. I shouldn't have come. If I had known, I would have found a place to completely seclude myself so that no one could find me and come out after they were done fighting. King Pingshan's thoughts were complicated. At this moment, no one knew what the others were thinking. Taoist Fengyun's shadow no longer trembled, but he had an inexplicable feeling in his heart. Mingyu was dead. First Faceless, then Mingyu, two of the four great Lord gods, were dead. Who killed them? Many of the 72 Lord gods of the past had died over the years. He thought that with the four great Lord gods coming out this time, the sex strength would increase again. Who would have thought that two of them would die before they came out? Over the years, Heavenly King Zhen had secretly killed many Lord gods and made arrangements in misery. He had also lost a few Lord gods. They went to search for the most important ruins in the Heaven realm, where the Tomb of Heaven was located. A few more divine masters died there. How many of the 72 divine masters would be left in the end? Taoist Fengyan looked at Wang Zhan with an even more complicated expression. Would the two kings reach an agreement with the divine sect like they did in the past when they came out of seclusion? Previously, when the divine sect sent people in, the two kings did not show up. Was he in hibernation, or was he not going to continue working with him? Who was standing behind Fate King? The two kings suspected that Fate King was a pawn of the celestial religion, but Taoist Fengyan didn't think so. This was because Fate King had nothing to do with the celestial religion, and someone else was standing behind him. And Li Zhu. Who was Li Zhu's subordinate? King Qian? The reason why he had listed Li Zhu in the top 10 of the monarch ranking was not because he was aware of Li Zhu's strength, but based on some clues. This included information leaked by other people in the true king's mansion. The Lord Sect Protector said Li Zhu must have concealed his strength. Was Li Zhu King Qian's man? Most importantly, King Qian was too mysterious. He had probed a few times, but he still could not confirm if he was King Qian of the Eight Kings. If that was the case, it would be even more troublesome. The leader of the Eight Kings was none other than King Qian. King Qian was known to be second only to the Heavenly Emperor in the past. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors, followed by the Heavenly Emperor, followed by the 8 kings. These people were the ones who stood at the peak of the 3 realms, and King Wu, Heavenly King Garrison, and places like Mount Wangwu. The more Taoist Fengyan thought about it, the more troubled he felt. The current situation was even more complicated than a few thousand years ago. A few thousand years ago, most people were in the open. However, since the war between the North and the South broke out, many powerhouses hid in the dark, causing the situation to become more complicated. Will Chongqingzi and Manxiong be fine? Taoist Fengyan was slightly worried. The celestial religion's strength had been declining recently, and another 4 true gods had fallen. The problem was not the true gods, but the gate of all living things. The gate of all living things was safe if it was escorted out by 4 true gods. However, if it was in someone else's hands, they might not be able to get it back. Internal conflict, or Qi Huanyu and the others, or Fang Ping? At this moment, even Taoist Fengyan could not help but think of Fang Ping. He had estimated Fang Ping's combat strength to be on par with the top 10 on the Wind Cloud leaderboard. However, he was still curious about how Fang Ping turned the tables and how he killed so many powerhouses in the catacombs. Fang Ping, Taoist Fengyan glanced at the stone monument that had been erected once again. At this moment, these people had entered the space battlefield. Some information could not be transmitted back, so he did not know the specific situation. It seemed like he could only find out when these people came out. Space battlefield. The void shook. It was not too obvious. Chang Qingzi, who was fighting with Qi Huanyu, seemed to have sensed something. His mentality spread rapidly, wanting to check out the situation at the altar. He was slightly uneasy. However, Qi Huanyu was extremely furious at this moment. He did not pay much attention to this. He had been shaken many times before, so he did not care about this. At this moment, Qi Huanyu was slightly anxious. The longer this dragged on, the weaker the joint attack would be. It would disappear very soon. Since these two people were not retreating, he would take this opportunity to kill them. Therefore, Qi Huanyu's long spear swept through the void, continuously attacking Chang Qingzi. Qi Huanyu would not hesitate to fight when it was time to fight. Chang Qingzi could not help but frown at his interference. He could not detect the situation 20 li away from him. Faceless seemed to be still there. As for Elysian Moon, she seemed to be there too. However, with the gray matter blocking his senses were not too clear at such a distance. In addition, the altar was mysterious and also had the effect of blocking probing. His senses were even more blurry. It should be fine. Elysian Moon is a true god. Even if I attack her, there should be some reaction. Chang Qingzi comforted himself inwardly. He was overthinking. How could a true god powerhouse die so easily? As for the slight tremble in the void earlier, could it be that the owner of this place was still recovering due to the previous impact? At this moment, Chang Qingzi did not have the mood to care about that side. He was more worried about the owner of this place recovering. Once he did, they would be in big trouble. Back then, at least one of the 36 saints had fallen here. It was transformed from the other party's origin space, or one of the 8 kings, or one of the 4 emperors. The 9 emperors, no matter who it was, a true god like him could not defend against them. Chang Qingzi did not think about this anymore. He waited on the spot for a while, panting again. On his forehead, beads of sweat rolled down. At this moment, Fong Ping felt a little sore all over his body. In order to kill Elysian Moon earlier, he had exerted himself to the limit. Even now, he was slightly exhausted. After killing Elysian Moon, one less true god powerhouse, Fong Ping felt much more at ease. Chang Qingzi and the rest had not returned. This meant that they had not reacted in time. I've killed 2 true gods this time. Fong Ping laughed heartily in his heart. No matter how much these 2 true gods had exhausted themselves, true gods were true gods. It was a miracle that they had been killed by him. He took Elysian Moon's remaining storage ring into his hand. Fong Ping glanced at it and cursed again in his heart. It was the same as Faceless. No, it was worse than Faceless. At least Faceless still had a rank 9 divine weapon. Elysian Moon did not even have a divine weapon. There were a lot of clothes inside, and they were women's. They could not be sold as second-hand. However, after taking a look, Fong Ping's eyes moved. There was something else in Elysian Moon's storage ring. Fong Ping took it out and glanced at it. It looked like a book. No, a diary? Did this woman like to take notes too? Fong Ping's mentality permeated the crystal book and glanced at it. He was a little confused. Fortunately, most of these were seal scripts, not the heavenly realm's language. He could recognize some of them. Soon, Fong Ping seemed to know what it was. Earthhorn Lord, Faceless, Earth-Een Lord, Elysian Moon, Earth Demon Lord, Man-Bear, Earth Chow Lord, Evergreen. Fong Ping was half-guessing. He could roughly distinguish these seal scripts. The list of 72 true god powerhouses, the ranking of 72 earthly malefic stars. Fong Ping thought of something. He was not very involved in these things, but it was not that he did not know them. When he knew about the situation of the blessed grotto heaven, he did some simple understanding of these things. Earth Chow Star, ranked 31st among 72 earthly malefic stars. Earthhorn Star, ranked 54th among 72 earthly malefic stars. Fong Ping was slightly shocked. Were they ranked according to this? Faceless was only ranked 54th among 72 Lord Gods. Although Fong Ping had killed Faceless, this fellow was not at his peak. Compared to a rank 9 at his peak, his vitality was over 1 million. As for Evergreen, who was ranked 31st, his vitality was probably around 3 million at his peak. Then, what was the strength of the first among 72 Lord Gods? An emperor-level vitality, close to 2 million calories, or after all these years, he had already become an emperor. Divine sect, evil sect, this force is getting stronger and stronger. Fang Ping completely understood now. The evil sects on Earth were just the tip of the iceberg. He was not sure what the position of Earth's Grand Pope was in the evil sections, but the other party's strength was definitely not weak. The 3 great papal guardians. Who knows how many emperor-level powerhouses there are under the papal guardians. And then there are 72 Lord Gods. This divine sex model is a little similar to the heavenly realm, Fang Ping muttered in his heart. Maybe this divine sect was really developed by some people from the heavenly realm. The key was, what were these people trying to do? The evil sects are so powerful, but they did not develop much power on Earth. If that's the case, maybe I have to reevaluate the strength of Sky's subduing king. Fang Ping had an idea in his heart. The evil sects did not develop on Earth. Maybe it was because of Sky's subduing king. This old man might not have been idle all these years. These thoughts flashed in his mind. Soon, Fang Ping's gaze turned to the bead. On the altar, the bead was still emitting a faint glow. Fang Ping approached it slowly. This thing was the purpose of everyone's visit this time. The Gate of All Beings. This was the name that Chang Qingzi had mentioned. This name also had many meanings. The Gate of All Beings, the Gate of All Beings, or something else. It was related to the door. It was easy to associate it with the door that blocked the road. Could it be that the emperor blocked the road back then and finally placed the door here? This bead could lead to the end of the road and see where the door was. Fang Ping wanted to know all these, but he also understood that now was not the time to get to the bottom of it. Fang Ping approached step by step. The closer he got, the more dazed Fang Ping looked. Open this door, and you will be the emperor. Open the door. Open the door. Waves of voices rang in his ears. Fang Ping seemed to have returned to the source world, to the beginning, to those voices that attracted him to open the way. Fang Ping recovered quickly, shaking his head. No matter what this thing was, it was definitely related to the source, a little similar to the feeling in the source world. He had not come into contact with it yet. Fang Ping walked closer and closer, seeing that the bead was right in front of him. Fang Ping was just about to pick it up when he seemed to hear someone talking in his ear. Don't take it. Fang Ping's outstretched hand froze. This voice felt very real, a little different from the illusory feeling just now. This bead is a little strange. Fang Ping murmured softly. It was really a little strange. Just as he was about to continue, a voice rang in his ear again. Don't take it. Fang Ping's hair stood on end. Even if there were no pores at the 9th refinement of the golden body, Fang Ping's scalp was numb at this moment, sweat dripping down. It was not an illusion. Someone was really talking to him. Who is it? Fang Ping asked in a low voice, but his footsteps were slowly retreating. There was someone. There was a powerhouse nearby, a top-notch powerhouse. He actually did not sense anything. Fang Ping instantly retracted all of his aura like a dead man and continued to retreat. There was something wrong with this bead, and there was also something wrong with this altar. Don't take the Gate of All Beings, and don't leave. Fang Ping felt the resistance coming from the altar. His expression changed drastically, suppressing the restlessness in his heart. He said in a low voice, Senior, please don't joke with this junior. This junior has no intention of coveting the Gate of All Beings. Don't take the Gate of All Beings, the voice repeated again. Then, as if it was clearer, the other party's voice rang in Fang Ping's mind again. Who am I? You should be in my source world. Fang Ping's scalp was really numb. The master of this place had really revived F***CK. To be able to turn the source world into a space battlefield after death, he must at least have the strength of an emperor level, right? No, Even ordinary emperor levels were not enough. Fang Ping did not see grand peace, and the others die. A space battlefield appeared. Maybe he did not know. However, this place had experienced a great battle between many emperor levels in the past, and it was not damaged. This meant that when the master of this place was alive, he was at least stronger than the emperor levels who participated in the battle that year. Which emperor levels participated in the battle that year? The two kings, Venerable Emperor Moon Spirit of Mount Wangu, Venerable Emperor Qing Tong of Mount Weiyu. This meant that the master of this place should be stronger than them. Now, the master of this place had revived. As if having guessed what Fang Ping was thinking, the voice in his mind continued, I have not revived. Only some of my consciousness has awakened. It's very chaotic. Too many people died in the source world, attacking my consciousness. Maybe I'm not the master of this place, just a chaotic consciousness body. The voice seemed to be mocking itself. Very quickly, it said, don't take the gate of all beings out. It's just a scam. A scam? Yes, a scam. This gate of all beings is not a gate for emperors to block the way. This is a gate of reflection. Gate of reflection. Fang Ping looked confused. Someone created this gate. He wants to become an emperor. He wants powerhouses to enter this gate. This gate can reflect Daos, even copy Daos. Copy. Fang Ping was shocked. Was this gate fake? Copy someone else's Daos. The voice did not stop, continuing, this gate is a gate that reflects Daos. In the past, the divine spying mirror was broken. The master of this gate seized some of the divine spying mirror's core and created this gate. Countless powerhouses died. When they died, Daos collapsed. If someone enters this gate, Daos will be copied. The master of this gate can walk on the other party's Dao. Don't take the gate of reflection away. Once you take this gate away, there will be a storm again. The more powerhouses die, the stronger the master of this gate will be. In the end, he will walk on the Daos. Maybe he can really become an emperor. Fang Ping swallowed his saliva. A scam? An eternal scam. What earthly emperor's relic? What gate of all beings? What door to block the way? They were all fake. This was created by a powerhouse. Was it to reflect the Daos of all powerhouses who entered this gate? When they died, the other party would walk on his Dao. Fang Ping was shocked. He said hurriedly, so many people died that year. Could it be that the master of this gate has already walked on the other party's Dao? Too many powerhouses died that year. Fang Ping was shocked. He was even a little frightened. If the other party walked on the human path of those who died, did it not mean that he might have walked on thousands of paths? Fang Ping was dizzy. How strong was the other party? No, too many people died that year. The Daos collapsed. It was extremely chaotic. All these years, this gate has been absorbing the essence of those people's skeletons here to sort out these paths. The voice once again revealed a shocking piece of news. The gate of all beings was left here not for anything else but to sort out the chaos origin Dao. There were too many Daos. They were entangled and chaotic. The other party used the flesh and blood essence of the dead masters for the gate to absorb and sort out the Daos. No wonderful powerhouses were left behind to guard it. The divine sect did it. Fang Ping's expression was gloomy. Who was controlling the divine sect? The other party started the war between the North and the South. Was it to seize everyone's Dao? What a big ambition. What a big scam. Everyone actually believed that this was the gate that blocked the way. The other party had deceived the world and all living beings in the three realms. This was not something anyone could do. Among them, the two kings were also the core participants. Did the two kings know about it? If the two kings did not know about it, then it would be really shocking. The next moment, Fang Ping shouted in a low voice. Who are you? How did you know about this? You died a long time ago. You should be a powerhouse from the heaven realm in the past. How did you know about all this? He now suspected that this guy was deliberately preventing him from obtaining the gate of all beings. The battle over at Qi Huanyu's side seemed to have stopped. If he did not seize the treasure and leave now, he might have to face those people head on. Chapter 9, 81. Who am I? Is it important who I am? The voice sounded self-deprecating. I've fallen long ago. Now, I'm just a collection of remnant thoughts. Fang Ping did not believe it. Remnant thoughts? He had seen them before. Over at the emperor's tomb, those venerable emperor's remnant thoughts had been revived. They were all crazy. How could they be so calm? This person definitely had a clear consciousness. However, this person did not say anything. Fang Ping did not ask any more. He looked at the pearl and said in a low voice, Senior, can I take the gate of all beings? Huh. The person in the dark was a little surprised. He had already said it so clearly, yet the other party still wanted it. Are you coveting the Tao inside? However, the owner of this gate is extremely powerful and has already made arrangements. Besides, you're only at origin. Even if you get this gate, I'm afraid you won't be able to pry into the Tao inside. Fang Ping said nothing. I don't care. The point was, if this thing really had hundreds or thousands of Tao, giving it to old Zhang, convergent Tao. What was convergent Tao? The real convergent Tao. What was old Zhang's crystal book for? It specialized in integrating his Tao, comprehending one, integrating one. After integration, his convergent Tao would become longer and wider. That was how the powerful old Zhang was now. Fang Ping did not know if this gate could be used. If it was old Zhang could really integrate thousands of Tao. Even if one Tao was integrated and added 10 meters long, it could also be added to 10,000 meters long. Of course, Fang Ping did not know what was going on with convergent Tao. However, it was a treasure. It was better to have it than not to have it. The voice in his mind sounded again. I can wake up because you entered origin. Your Tao and my Tao may have overlapped in the past. You advanced here, triggering a resonance with my origin. That's why I can wake up. If you really want to take it, I won't stop you. However, this thing is the source of all evil. In the past, countless people died because of this thing. Sai, if this thing is born, I'm afraid there will be countless deaths and injuries again. The three realms will be in chaos. This person's tone was very complicated. Fang Ping muttered in his heart, was this guy a saint? I don't care if the three realms are in chaos or not. Moreover, this time, this person wanted to throw the three realms into chaos. If not, how could humans benefit from it? That was not right. This person said that his origin Tao overlapped with his. He was not a saint. Fang Ping cursed in his heart. Slander. The thought flashed through his mind. Fang Ping said in a low voice, Please forgive me, Senior. I do need this item to save someone. Now that the human realm was about to be destroyed, many people came here to seize this item, slaughter the human realm, sacrifice the common people, and open this item. The reason I took this thing out is to have someone destroy it, so that those people don't really want to slaughter the human world. Blood sacrifice. His voice trembled. Have we still reached this step? The human world is the place where many emperors stepped into the great Tao to prove their Tao. Sacrificing the common people there might indeed make the great Tao manifest, but that's billions of common people. Fang Ping's heart trembled as well. Really? He thought that the blood sacrifice to the human world was just a pretense or for the sake of the seed of rebirth. However, what this person meant was that Earth was the place where many emperors had proven their Tao. Sacrificing the humans on Earth there might allow the great Tao to appear. Damn it! Fong Ping gritted his teeth. Since this person had said so, it meant that the blood sacrifice of humans was not groundless. It was very likely to happen. Fong Ping suppressed the restlessness in his heart and continued, "Senior, can I take this with me? Also, can this thing be destroyed?" "Take it." "Sigh, forget it. Just take it." As for destroying the gate of reflection, the core of this door is the core of the divine mirror. Unless the divine mirror is found, I don't know if the cat is still alive. The divine mirror was destroyed by Tengu years ago, but the original owner is still the cat. If it is still alive, maybe it can retrieve the core and destroy this door. Fong Ping was stunned. Can a stray cat destroy this thing? The core of this thing was the core of the cat's divine mirror. He had heard it before, but he did not think much about it. Now, Fong Ping could not help but ask, "The cat?" Most of the cat's divine weapons were picked up. It's not the original owner, right? Many of the cat's divine weapons were picked up. It felt like it was picking up junk. Anyway, this cat wanted any broken things. It did not mind whether it was good or bad, as long as it could be used. Sometimes, when he thought about it, this cat was quite pitiful. It was a stray cat. With no one to play with, it could only pick up some junk to play with. It was just like how stray cats could play with a ball of yarn for half a day now. Tengu was still alive. It probably had a companion. Tengu was dead. It had finally met unquestionable Jian, but in the end, unquestionable Jian seemed to have let it down and even schemed against it. The cat often talked about the days when it fished with unquestionable Jian. It was obvious that it missed those days. As for what happened after that, the cat did not mention it. Did the cat really not know that unquestionable Jian might have schemed against it? The cat did not mention it either. The cat said that when it reached the human world, it would take back the bell and leave. In the end, it stayed here and did not leave. Fong Ping felt that it might really be too lonely and wanted to find someone to accompany it. At this moment, speaking of the cat, Fong Ping suddenly felt a little sympathy. Actually, were he and old Zhang not scheming against it? This was because the cat was very strong and very capable. While scheming, did the two of them really not take any precautions at all? They did. It seemed like no one cared about the cat in Magic City, but in fact, old Zhang would often monitor near Magic City. Not only that, this time when old Zhang and the others wanted to leave, they also wanted to bring the cat along. Could they not leave the cat? Without the cat, old Zhang had this plan before. Was he not prepared at all? There were some things that everyone knew, but they did not say it out loud. At this moment, when this person mentioned the cat, Fong Ping did not know why, but he suddenly felt an indescribable feeling. This cat was being watched by many people. The owner of the voice obviously did not expect Fong Ping to know about the cat. He said with some surprise, "The cat is still alive?" "It's alive. If you know about the projection gate, don't tell me you don't know that the cat was sleeping in Quichong Mountain." "Quichong Mountain?" "I have some impression of it, but the owner of the voice seemed to have thought of something and quickly changed the topic. If the cat is still alive, then this thing can be destroyed. But you guys have to be careful. If the owner of this thing knows that the cat is still alive, he will definitely not let it go. No, if the divine peeking mirror is not in the cat's hands, it's here." Fong Ping blurted out suddenly. At this moment, he suddenly understood something. The three realms ranking list might have been created by the divine sect. The cat was number 1. There were so many divine weapons. Maybe the other party really valued the divine peeking mirror. The owner of the projection gate might want to make the cat the target of everyone, then kill the cat and destroy the divine peeking mirror. Fong Ping had some doubts. Maybe the person did not know that the cat still had the divine peeking mirror. Fong Ping had not communicated this to the Heavenly King garrison. Otherwise, he would understand that everyone really did not know before. Because the divine peeking mirror was broken, the cat rarely used it except when it was watching a show. In these thousands of years, the cat actually did not have the chance to watch a show. Therefore, not many people knew that the divine peeking mirror was in its hands. It was not until the last time it took it out in the Magic City catacombs and reflected those powerhouses that people found out the divine peeking mirror is still in the cat's hands. I'm afraid that the cat is in danger. The person sighed and said, but he won't dare to attack the cat rashly. Killing the cat is not tolerated by heaven and earth. But that person is full of tricks. Maybe he will have another way. Killing the cat is not tolerated by heaven and earth. Fong Ping was stunned. There was such a saying. This matter is hard to say. An emperor once said that if the cat dies, the path will collapse. The cat cannot die. But later, an emperor said that the cat can die. But the person spoke vaguely. Fong Ping did not know if he could not say it or something else. He said quickly, these are ancient rumors. It's hard to distinguish the truth from the lies. If you want to take this item away, then destroy it as soon as possible. If you destroy it, that person will not attack again. Fong Ping nodded and said quickly, Senior, can you revive now? Why don't you go out with me, and we can destroy this item together? I'm afraid that when the owner of this item comes, we won't be able to stop him. Sigh. I'm just a wisp of my origin. I'm not really resurrected. This is my origin world. That's why I can say some things. Once I leave this place, you can't sense me, and I can't leave this place. Fong Ping was not surprised when he heard that. He continued, Senior, can you kill those villains here? Those who are fighting in front are all villains. This time, they all want to seize this item. I suspect that some of them are subordinates of the projection gate's owner. I've only revived a little of my origin. I don't have any combat strength. Fong Ping was speechless. Was it true? He was starting to doubt whether what this guy said was true or not. No combat strength? Did you think I would believe that? Right at this moment, the voice said again, this altar is built in the core of my origin world. Not only does it absorb the flesh and blood essence of those who died in battle, but it also absorbs some of my remnant origin. If I'm on the altar, I still have some combat strength, but once I leave the altar, Fong Ping's gaze flickered. Senior, how much strength can you unleash on the altar? Can you kill an emperor rank? Kill an emperor rank? The owner was stunned. This person was only at the origin realm. How arrogant! Even the 8 kings of the past did not dare to say that they could kill an emperor rank, right? He had already said that it was just a wisp of origin that had revived. What was this guy thinking? After a while, the voice said, no, even a true god would find it difficult. Fong Ping was speechless. Was it true? Even a true god could not kill it. Then what about the weakened true gods? The ones who were guarding this place previously? This should be possible. After all, this is my origin world. But, Senior, Fong Ping did not care whether this person was a true saint or not. With a mournful expression, he said, there are nearly 10 billion people in the human world now. 10 billion lives. These people took back the gates of projection and handed them over to their owner. Perhaps they really want to sacrifice the human world. Senior, since you pity the common people and have the ability to do it, do you really want to watch the human world be destroyed? All these years, countless martial artists of the human world have died in battle. None of them had a good ending. Among the martial artists of the human world, there are almost no centenarians. Is there a centenarian? I'm afraid not. Fong Ping said in sorrow, his eyes red, Senior, I lured Chang Qingzi to this altar. If you really pity the common people, please help me stop him for a while. Senior, you don't have to kill him. I'll go and kill other strong enemies. If I don't die, I'll come and kill him." As soon as he said this, the voice in the dark was silent for a moment again. After a while, it sighed. Forget it, forget it. However, the gates of projection must be destroyed. Don't let any more innocent people die tragically. Senior, you are righteous. Fong Ping bowed solemnly, his right hand across his chest. He was extremely solemn. At this time, the voice said again, "Your aura-changing technique." At this moment, Fong Ping still maintained his faceless aura and appearance. After hearing that, he said without changing his expression, "Tsang Mao taught it." "I know Tsang Mao, so." "Tsang Mao," the apparition thought for a while before saying, "Is that so? I've never heard of it before. Could it be that Tsang Mao learned it later?" He thought of many things, but he did not ask in detail. Seeing that, Fong Ping said no more. He took a step forward, abandoned everything, and took the bead in his hand. As soon as the bead was in his hand, Fong Ping noticed something strange. It was very, very heavy. It was as heavy as 1,000 caddies. Fong Ping wanted to keep it in the storage space, but he could not. This time, Fong Ping frowned immediately. "Senior, can't this thing be kept in the storage ring?" This is the gates of projection. It's also the gates of great Tao. How can the great Tao be kept in a mustard seed? However, this thing can be placed in the source world. However, in the source world, this thing will absorb the origin energy. This is also the reason that person put this thing in my source world back then. In other words, putting this thing in the source world might make Fong Ping unable to use his origin. Fong Ping understood. Then, he put the bead far away again. The voice was slightly surprised. "You're not taking it with you?" "No, I'll leave it here first. When Chang Qingzi comes later, I'll take it." Fong Ping said it calmly. If he took this thing, would Chang Qingzi rush into the altar? Without a doubt. He had to lure him in. Only then would he have the confidence to kill the others. Chang Qingzi was too powerful. Moreover, he had the ability to kill him. Fong Ping dared not fight him recklessly. At this moment, the sounds of battle in the distance seemed to have stopped completely. Fong Ping did not know if the two sides were unwilling to continue fighting or if they had sensed something. He sensed that the qi movement was moving toward him. Fong Ping took a deep breath and said again, "Senior, I'll depend on you then. Once Chang Qingzi breaks free, I'll definitely die. The billions of living beings in the human world." Fong Ping sighed and did not continue. At this moment, Fong Ping took a few steps back. In the distance, Chang Qingzi and Man Xiong's figures could already be seen. Behind him, Qi Huanyu had already stopped his joint attack and was following behind. Faceless. A furious roar reverberated throughout heaven and earth. Chang Qingzi's hair and beard stood on end. "Where's Elysian Moon?" At this moment, in everyone's eyes, Faceless was striding toward the center of the altar, trying to take the orb away. Chang Qingzi and Man Xiong's speed skyrocketed. They were extremely fast. "Where's Elysian Moon?" Thinking of the space tremor earlier, both of them had a bad feeling. Elysian Moon might be dead. Faceless killed her. Fong Ping did not turn around. He walked quickly toward the orb. However, he seemed to be tempted. He struggled a little and walked very slowly with difficulty. Chang Qingzi was furious. "Faceless, how dare you? The gate of all beings is not something you can covet." Faceless wanted to snatch the gate of all beings. Chang Qingzi covered 1,000 meters with a step. He was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he was very close to the altar. At this moment, Fong Ping was only one step away from the orb. In the next moment, Chang Qingzi's horsetail whisk broke through the air and headed straight for Fong Ping's back. Fong Ping did not delay any further. He grabbed the orb and dodged it hurriedly. Rumble! The horsetail whisk broke through the void and charged toward Fong Ping again. At this moment, Chang Qingzi also took a step onto the altar. He roared furiously, "Faceless you!" As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping broke through the air and left the altar immediately. "You—" Chang Qingzi wanted to say something, but the next moment there was a dazed look in his eyes. Then he suddenly stood still on the spot. Behind him, Man Xiong hurriedly stopped in his tracks. His face was full of horror. What was going on? Why was Chang Qingzi not moving? "Faceless, what did you do?" Man Xiong roared furiously. What had happened? Elysian Moon seemed to be dead. Faceless had betrayed him. Chang Qingzi had met with an accident. There were 4 powerhouses guarding this place. At the last moment, he was the only one left. At this moment, Qi Huanyu and the rest who were following behind him also stopped in the distance. Qi Huanyu glanced at Faceless and raised his eyebrows slightly. Were these people fighting among themselves? No, it did not seem like it. This fellow was the one who went to Fong Ping's place to fight, and then returned, right? Fong Ping had not appeared until now. He did not think that Fong Ping was dead. Since he was not dead, those people from the land of rebirth had not come until now. The next moment, Qi Huanyu's pupils shrank. He roared, "He's Fong Ping!" At this moment, Fong Ping also broke through the air. He bypassed the slightly dazed Man Xiong and went straight toward them. He laughed and said, "Qi Huanyu, you really know me well." "Ha ha." Fong Ping laughed and returned to his original state in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Fong Ping's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he was close to them. Qi Huanyu roared and stabbed his spear toward Fong Ping. He roared, "Kill Fong Ping." Fong Ping came at the right time. This fellow was too bold. At this moment, that strong man was still here. Fong Ping killed his companion and pretended to be his companion. Now, they could join forces with him and kill Fong Ping. No, at this moment, Qi Huanyu suddenly remembered something. Fong Ping killed the other party's companion, and it seemed like there was more than one. How did he do it? After fighting with Chang Qingzi earlier, he knew that these people's abilities were all true king powerhouses. Even if they were half-crippled, they were still true kings. Although Fong Ping's double 9 refinement was strong, compared to him, he was at most on par with him. He might even be slightly weaker. However, how did Fong Ping kill these true kings? Retreat. Qi Huanyu suddenly thought of something. He roared and retreated quickly without saying a word. However, it was too late. He had taken the initiative to attack Fong Ping earlier. How could Fong Ping give him the chance to retreat? Sky Smasher. A low roar echoed throughout the entire space battlefield. Fong Ping threw a punch, and his right leg broke through the air, heading straight for his head. Boom! The punch and kick had blasted Qi Huanyu's spear apart, and even his arm had exploded in an instant. Qi Huanyu was terrified by the kick, and he hurriedly flew backward. Boom! The void was destroyed by the kick. Fong Ping did not chase after him. Almost without hesitation, he landed in the crowd behind. He did not give Qi Huanyu time to use the joint attack. After killing these people from Destiny Royal Court, Qi Huanyu would die sooner or later if no one cooperated with him. Die. Fong Ping was extremely brutal. He punched a rank 9's head. The other party did not have any time to react. He exploded in an instant. Even his mentality was destroyed. No. How strong was Fong Ping now? A casual move was Qi Huanyu's limit. It was too easy for a paragon to kill a rank 9. Although Fong Ping was not a paragon, at his level, to these people, whether he was a paragon or not was not a big difference. Kill. Fong Ping's speed was really as fast as lightning. His mentality erupted. Suddenly, intimidating one person. He kicked out, and the other party exploded. Fong Ping did not even look. A Changdao materialized in his hand. He swept it in all directions and killed the enemy again. It was only now that 4 or 5 people had been killed that the others came to their senses. Fong Ping was too fast. He was so fast that he repelled Qi Huanyu with one strike and killed his way into the crowd. These people had just fought with Chang Qingzi. At this moment, many of them had not recovered to their peak. How could they be a match for Fong Ping? The next moment, the crowd scattered. Run! Fong Ping was terrifyingly powerful. Run! At this moment, Fong Ping let out a cold humph. More than 10 masses of imperishable matter were thrown out. Then Fong Ping gritted his teeth and slashed some mentality again. At this moment, his mentality was only about 10,000 hertz. The increase in mentality from breaking through to rank 9 had been slashed twice by him. It had been completely wiped out. However, this was not a waste of effort. More than 10 Fong Ping appeared in the blink of an eye. Although their gazes were dull, their combat strength was not weak. They all had the strength of a weak rank, 9. The strongest of the Paragon's clones had the strength of an upper stage origin. The weakest would not be weaker than a weak rank, 9. The other party only slashed mentality. Fong Ping, on the other hand, equipped these clones with large amounts of imperishable matter. Although the mentality slashed was not much, their strength was not weak either. These clones killed their way into the crowd in an instant, although their strength was far from these people's. After all, those who had survived until now were powerhouses. However, these clones had no problem creating chaos. As for Fong Ping himself, his aura disappeared instantly. In this chaos, Fong Ping's existence was almost impossible to find. Ah! A scream was heard. Fong Ping's silhouette disappeared in a flash. With one hand covering the sky, he crushed a rank 9 powerhouse directly. At this moment, Qi Huanyu had already reacted. He roared, "Fuse!" Quick! More than 10 Destiny Army powerhouses roared one after another. Their mentality and energy erupted, and they quickly rushed to Qi Huanyu's side. They fused their energy with him and used a joint combat technique. However, just as these people rose into the air, Fong Ping's silhouette flashed and appeared below one of them. With a punch, he punched through the other party and fell to the ground directly. Damn it! The long spear in Qi Huanyu's hand condensed again. He stabbed it toward Fong Ping and roared, "What are you waiting for? Join forces and kill Fong Ping." That brawny man must be stupid. Right now, the other party seemed to be hesitating. Should he go to the altar to save Chang Qingzi or join the battle? However, Qi Huanyu knew that Fong Ping was sinister and cunning. Since Fong Ping dared to appear openly at this time, that old guy would definitely not be able to escape. If Man Xiong went, he might also be trapped. If that happened, then it would be really dangerous. The battle with Chang Qingzi earlier had consumed a lot of their energy. Moreover, Fong Ping had killed 5 to 6 rank, 9 martial artists in an instant. Many of them were from the Destiny Army. The power of the joint combat technique now was not as strong as before. After all, Man Xiong was a true god powerhouse. At this time, he still decided to kill Fong Ping. Moreover, the gate of all beings was in Fong Ping's hands. He had to get it back. If he lost the gate of all beings, even if he got out, the divine sect would not let him off easily. The 4 true gods had been guarding for thousands of years. In the end, they had lost the gate of all beings. Even if they did not kill him, he would still be severely punished. Bastard! Man Xiong was furious. His golden body erupted, and he was extremely powerful. A punch pierced through the air and went straight for Fong Ping. Fong Ping sneered and hid in the crowd in the blink of an eye. Boom! An explosion was heard. An injured rank 9 martial artist could not block the furious Man Xiong's punch and exploded on the spot. Qi Huanyu was so angry that he vomited blood. He roared, "If you kill more of our people, no one will be able to control him." "Idiot!" Man Xiong glared at him fiercely. Qi Huanyu was not afraid at all. He said angrily, "Kill him. He still has companions. They are all top-notch powerhouses. This person killed thousands of Origin this time. Your companions were killed. Isn't it enough to learn from his mistakes?" He had had enough. Could he still not see the situation clearly? Man Xiong suppressed his anger and snorted, "Then let's join forces and kill him." At this moment, Qi Huanyu had also integrated the strength of the others. Without a word, he quickly rushed toward Fong Ping with his spear. At this time, Kong Lingyuan shouted from afar, "Bullying with numbers? I'll fight you guys." As soon as he finished speaking, Kong Lingyuan flew toward him. Fong Ping laughed loudly. "The two of them are mine. Don't fight. Kill the others so that they don't sleep again." "Sleep my ass!" Kong Lingyuan cursed. Without another word, he rushed into the crowd. Forget it. He would not look for trouble. Those two fellows were very strong now. "Don't sleep again. I've endured until now. I'm going out soon. It's time to decide the winner. I don't want to sleep again. This time, I'm going out with my eyes open." Kong Lingyuan roared. This time, he did not defend anymore. He waved a folding vitality fan like a machete and quickly joined forces with his clones. In the blink of an eye, they were fighting with the catacombs' powerhouses. At this moment, Li Daong and the rest rushed over from behind. They roared one after another, "Kill the enemies and seize the treasures." It was the final moment. Almost everyone in the space battlefield was here. It was time for both sides to decide the winner and the loser. Kill! Battle cries pierced the sky. Chapter 982. Blood splattered everywhere. Golden bodies exploded. Today, death was the main theme. Kong Lingyuan, Li Daong, Jiang Yuanhua, Su Haoren, one powerhouse after another fought in a bloodbath. Wars were sometimes ridiculous. Thousands of rank 9s had died in battle today, all for a portal that reflected the Tao. God knew how many of those true gods outside had become pawns for others. Fong Ping held the Vitality Changdao in his hand. The saber and spear collided, sending Qi Huanyu flying backward. Behind him, Man Xiong's iron fist shook the sky. Like his name, he really looked like a bear. Every punch shook the void. Fong Ping was not paying attention and was hit by Man Xiong's punch. His back was pierced directly, and he flew thousands of meters away. The two powerhouses joined forces to attack Fong Ping, their auras shaking the sky. "Fong Ping, you must die today." Qi Huanyu roared. This was the last time. He could not give Fong Ping another chance. Fong Ping's speed of becoming stronger made him feel hopeless. From being far behind him, he might not be Fong Ping's match now if he had not integrated the energy of some Destiny Army powerhouses. If this person did not die, Divine Continent would be in chaos. Man Xiong did not say a word. He suddenly growled. A pair of golden iron fists extended hundreds of meters, and with a rumble, Fong Ping's skull cracked. "Hand over the gate of all beings." Man Xiong looked at the gate of all beings in Fong Ping's chest. His eyes were cold and fierce. He broke through the air, his fists like fire. In the blink of an eye, he punched hundreds of times. Fong Ping also roared, waving his saber and sweeping. In the void, silhouettes appeared one after another. They were no longer the phantoms of the past, but the silhouettes of the origin. One by one, The fallen powerhouses wielded long sabers and swept in all directions, quickly fighting with the others. Man Xiong roared. With a punch, he blew up some of the phantoms. He said, angrily, petty tricks. If you don't hand over the gate of all beings, don't blame me for killing your companions. As soon as he finished speaking, Man Xiong turned around and punched across the air. On the other side, the human who was fighting with the catacombs' powerhouses, Feng Yu roared and waved his palm to block. With a bang, his palm exploded. Not only that, the punch had not reached its end. It exploded again, punching through Feng Yu's chest. Courting death, Feng Ping let out a low growl and broke Qi Huanyu's long spear with one slash. He held the crystal house in his left hand and smashed it toward Qi Huanyu in a frenzy. After smashing more than 10 times in a row, Feng Ping once again broke through the air and destroyed Brown Bear's second punch with one slash. Man Xiong laughed coldly and said coldly, "Looks like you still care about these people. Since that's the case, hand over the gate of all living things and wake Chang Qingzi up. Otherwise, I'll kill them all." "You're courting death." Feng Ping roared furiously. Then, the crystal house that was frantically smashing Qi Huanyu disappeared in an instant. The moment the crystal house disappeared, Feng Ping's eyes were like the ocean, surging with waves. He turned to look at Qi Huanyu. In the blink of an eye, Qi Huanyu looked confused. Bearman said coldly and fiercely when he saw the situation, "What gall! Since you dare to be distracted in front of me, I'll kill you." When Feng Ping was fighting him, he actually dared to open up a second battlefield in the source world. This guy was crazy. Qi Huanyu was not weak. Feng Ping was only a rank 9. Even if his mentality was slightly stronger than Qi Huanyu's, there was still a limit. As for the source world, Qi Huanyu had traveled for a long time and stayed at rank 9 for many years. The source world might not be any weaker than Faceless from before. Feng Ping actually dared to drag Qi Huanyu into the source world to fight at this time. Moreover, he still had to face him. If this was not courting death, then what was? This was Feng Ping's first time trying to fight both sides. At this moment, he indeed felt the pressure. His movements and reflexes had all become sluggish. He had no time to care about Qi Huanyu, who was in the source world. Ren Xiong threw a punch. Feng Ping could not dodge it in time. The bones in his hand exploded, and he was sent flying backward. Ren Xiong quickly followed up, waving his fists so tightly that Feng Ping kept bleeding. Not only that, in the source world, Qi Huanyu was indeed extremely powerful. Qi Huanyu, who held a long spear in his hand, was even more powerful than Faceless. Joint attack combat techniques. Joint attacks also had the source. At this moment, Qi Huanyu seemed to have merged with many silhouettes and appeared in the source world. Wielding a spear, he swiftly attacked the slightly dazed Feng Ping. In the source world, this was Feng Ping's first time seeing Qi Huanyu's source world. Previously, when he slashed his Tao of origin, Feng Ping directly entered his Tao. At this moment, Qi Huanyu let Feng Ping see what a normal martial artist Tao was. His source world was not big. In fact, it was very small. However, behind his floating island, there was a path of light. Waves of energy gushed out from it, making Qi Huanyu even more powerful. It was close to 1,000 meters long and 100 meters wide. 100 meters wide. This was definitely not considered a narrow path. Feng Ping did not know if he had expanded it later or if it had been like this from the beginning. In any case, apart from Zhang Tao, Feng Ping did not seem to have seen a path of 100 meters wide. No wonder the Life King wanted to walk on his Tao. Feng Ping saw his Tao, but Qi Huanyu did not see Feng Ping's. It was not that he did not see it, but he did not see it. Fong Ping had carved out a path that was 3,000 meters wide, but its length was extremely short. At this moment, it was attached to the floating island. It seemed like the floating island was expanding outward. If one did not look closely, it was almost impossible to notice the difference. Fong Ping's path was still dark. There was a slight glow, but it was not too obvious. As Qi Huanyu attacked Fong Ping, he asked in surprise, "Where's your Tao of origin?" He did not notice Fong Ping's Tao of origin. Fong Ping scolded angrily, "Are you blind?" Qi Huanyu was provoking him. "Although my Tao of origin is a little dark, it's so wide. It's also close to 100 meters long. Can't you see it? What's with that look? I'll kill you today. I can't reveal my Tao of origin so easily, lest others find out that I've become so powerful not too far away." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping wielded his Changdao and attacked Qi Huanyu quickly. Not only that, this time he wanted to take a closer look at this guy's Tao. He wanted to see if this guy's Tao had any flaws. There was no such thing as a flawless Tao. If he found it, perhaps he could take the opportunity to kill the Life King. Both of their source worlds moved closer in an instant. This time, Fong Ping did not crash into him. He did not have any restorative divine fruits now. Unless it was the last resort, he did not want to do so, lest he hurt himself. In the source world, Fong Ping and Qi Huanyu were fighting nonstop. In the real world, Fong Ping, on the other hand, was being beaten by Brown Bear until golden blood spurted out, and his bones were broken. After all, Brown Bear was a true god. Even if he was severely injured, he was still a physique Tao powerhouse. Fong Ping's golden body was not enough, especially now that he was multitasking. That was even worse. His reaction was a beat slower. His speed was a beat slower. Although Brown Bear was big, his reflexes were extremely agile. He circled Fong Ping and threw punches and kicks at the same time. Every punch and kick brought along a series of rumbles, causing the surrounding void to vibrate. Fong Ping was like a rag doll beaten to a pulp and sent flying everywhere. "Fong Ping!" Kong Lingyuan roared furiously. The ribs of his fan exploded. With a loud roar, a rank 9 powerhouse was shot into a sieve like a shower of petals falling from the sky. There were originally about 100 people on Qi Huanyu's side. Fong Ping killed many more people. Brown Bear and the rest had also killed a few before this. There were still more than 10 rank 9 powerhouses waiting in the distance, fully focused on providing energy for Qi Huanyu. Not only that, there were still 7 or 8 people protecting them. In this way, the number of powerhouses participating in the battle was equal to that of the humans and overseas immortal islands. However, the number of top-notch powerhouses was less than that of the humans' side. In addition to the previous losses, they were completely at a disadvantage when they were fighting now. In the beginning, 500 rank 9s entered. Later, 300 rank 9s entered, 800 rank 9s. Until now, there were less than 100 people left alive. At this moment, they were actually being suppressed by the humans. Kong Lingyuan was powerful, but the others were not. This time, Jiang Kuei did not continue fighting. Instead, he let 2 Weiyu mountain powerhouses protect him. Sitting cross-legged in the void, he also had his eyes on a rank 9. In the blink of an eye, he dragged the other party into the source world. He was much more experienced than Fong Ping. At this moment, the powerhouse who was dragged away by him was instantly targeted by 2 Weiyu mountain powerhouses. They quickly charged toward the powerhouse, whose eyes were glazed. When pulling someone into the source world, either the other party had the same intention or your mentality and origin were stronger than the other party's. Otherwise, you would not be able to pull someone in. When entering someone else's source world, it was also extremely dangerous for the physical body. On the catacombs side, there were not many who knew this kind of fighting style. This person was suddenly pulled away. Before the others could react, he himself did not even have time to react. In the blink of an eye, his body was destroyed by two powerhouses. Although his physical body was destroyed, his origin was not. At this moment, this person was still in Jiang Kuei's source world. But when his physical body was destroyed, his origin was greatly damaged. In an instant, he was extremely weak. Almost in the blink of an eye, Jiang Kuei opened his eyes and had already destroyed the other party's weakened origin. This was the fearsomeness of experts in the path of mental strength. Their source worlds were even more powerful than the experts of the way of the body. This was because some of them had integrated their own materialization, which would strengthen the source world. Moreover, mentality and the source worlds were closely related. At this moment, Jiang Kuei also demonstrated the strength of his ranking on the wind cloud list. A rank 7 origin martial artist was almost killed by him in the blink of an eye. Although there was someone cooperating, it also proved that mentality Dao was not weaker than physique Dao. Be careful! A catacombs powerhouse roared. Immortal God, block. Don't enter his source world. Someone attack his body. Someone quickly organized a powerhouse and attacked Jiang Kuei. Jiang Kuei snorted coldly and shouted, "Weiyu Mountain disciples, protect me!" As soon as he said that, 30 rank 9 Weiyu Mountain powerhouses came in. The remaining 7 or 8 people quickly rushed over and started fighting with the people outside. As for Jiang Kuei, he targeted the Sky Plant Dynasty Palace Lord Powerhouse who gave the order earlier. His eyes wandered, and he grunted a few times. In the blink of an eye, he fell into a deep sleep with the other party. This person was indeed powerful. Although his eyes were blank, there was still a trace of willpower outside. He said weakly, "Protect my body, and wait for me to kill him." As soon as he finished speaking, there was complete silence. The two powerhouses had already entered the source world to fight. On one side, Jiang Kuei led the Weiyu Mountain people in a fierce battle. On the other side, Yu Wuhua, Li Wuji, and the others were also shouting. On the overseas immortal islands, these emperor-level powerhouses' heirs and descendants had now revealed their final trump cards and techniques. Yu Wuhua wielded a longsword and shouted, "Immortal Quest Island disciples, get into formation." In the blink of an eye, several Immortal Quest Island powerhouses seemed to have merged into one. Their golden bodies were changing, different from the other energy converging. These people seemed to have turned themselves into weapons, fusing with Yu Wuhua's longsword. A giant longsword appeared, incomparably sharp. Yu Wuhua's height also grew in the blink of an eye. The woman who looked frail earlier was now like a god who had descended to the world. Immortal Quest. A faint light flashed, like the illumination of moonlight. The sword slashed out. 2 rank 9s could not dodge in time, and their golden bodies were instantly cut into countless pieces. On the other side, Li Wuji also roared. His body expanded, reaching 100 meters tall, and his 4 hooves trampled down. Beside him, a true dragon also grew in size, its tail sweeping in all directions. At this juncture, none of the experts would hide their strength any longer. In reality, when they faced danger outside, they did not unleash their full strength, because they were all waiting for an opportunity, waiting for the great sealing array to break. The Heavenly Court army could not hold on for long. They still had the confidence to escape at the last moment. Humans were the only ones who knew nothing about this. At that time, everyone was in despair and fought with their lives on the line. But now, the treasure had appeared. What else was there to hide? These people unleashed their strength. They could not wait to kill all these people and go to Fong Ping's side. As for whether to help Fang Ping or snatch the treasure, it was hard to say. The massacre had been going on all this time. There were people dying on both sides. More and more people were dying. At this moment, more than 10 people from the Heavenly Court Army were doing their best to integrate energy to support Qi Huanyu. But now, they were all vomiting blood. Some people's heads exploded. Their origin paths appeared and shattered in the blink of an eye. Bang! 2 rank, 9 powerhouses died on the spot. Temple Master. The others looked at the 3 people fighting in the distance. At this moment, Qi Huanyu was sitting cross-legged in the void. His flesh began to crack as if he was struggling to break free. His forehead was full of sweat. This was unbelievable for a top-notch rank, 9. He was sweating. Among the 3 of them, Qi Huanyu was the weakest. At this moment, he was fighting Fang Ping in the Source World. He was already at a disadvantage, implicating people from the Heavenly Court Army. However, compared to Qi Huanyu, Fang Ping was not much better. His golden body had cracked a few times. At this moment, his golden body was dim, not as bright as before. Brown Bear's pair of iron fists beat Fang Ping until he wished he was dead. However, Brown Bear seemed to be getting weaker as the battle went on. At this moment, he was also panting heavily. He wanted to curse. Hard to kill. Although Fang Ping was not a true god, he was really hard to kill. He had almost destroyed the other party's golden body a few times, but the other party's recovery speed was too fast. However, what made Brown Bear somewhat relieved was that Fang Ping's recovery speed had also slowed down. It was not as fast as before. This time, Fang Ping did not pretend. His recovery speed had really slowed down. Even if he had enough imperishable substance, being injured repeatedly was somewhat damaging to his core. However, Fang Ping still gritted his teeth. He would grind them down. Today, he would grind a few people to death. As for whether he would grind them to death first, or he would grind them to death first, he would find out in the end. Big Black Bear, are you scratching an itch for me? Fang Ping saw that Brown Bear seemed to have the intention of killing the others first, so he instantly made a sarcastic remark. You're also a true god powerhouse. Trash is trash. No wonder you were sent here to be a gatekeeper. No, you're worse than a gatekeeper. At least watchdogs have something to eat. You don't even have food to eat. You're worse than a dog. You're asking for it. Brown Bear's eyes glinted fiercely. Suddenly, he broke through the air and grabbed Fang Ping's arm. With a roar, he tore Fang Ping's arm apart. In an instant, Fang Ping's left arm was broken, but he was still extremely fierce. Holding a saber in his right hand, he pierced through his abdomen. This was Fang Ping's first time piercing through Brown Bear's flesh. Brown Bear roared angrily and swung his fist downwards. Crack! Fang Ping's right arm was smashed off. Fang Ping was just about to counterattack when his eyes became slightly dazed. On the other side, Qi Huanyu also roared. In the Source World, he suddenly erupted and pierced Fang Ping with his spear. The battle was getting more and more intense. Qi Huanyu was not having a good time either. Fang Ping had beheaded him with one slash. Qi Huanyu was fine, but someone from the Heaven's Mandate Army died, on the spot again. Fang Ping was fighting on 2 fronts, and was also heavily injured. At this moment, Brown Bear punched his head again. Bang! This was the first time Fang Ping's head was smashed by someone. Fang Ping retreated quickly. His head slowly grew out. It was extremely horrifying. Phew! Fang Ping panted violently. He was also feeling a little weak. At this moment, a sudden scream came from the other side. Kong Ling Yuan and the rest also went crazy. They killed many opponents. 5 or 6 human powerhouses quickly rushed into the Heaven's Mandate Army's camp. Puff! Qi Huanyu's figure trembled. as the Heaven's Mandate Army was under pressure, the strength in his body began to fade gradually. Fang Ping laughed out loud. In the source world, he went crazy again. He drove the floating island directly toward Qi Huanyu. Crack! In the real world, Qi Huanyu's golden body also began to crack. As Fang Ping attacked, the Heaven's Mandate Army had no choice but to erupt their energy again to support Qi Huanyu. However, in this case, they would have to face the crazy Kong Lingyuan and the rest. Kill! Li Daong slashed with the sky-piercing sword, sending a person's head flying. Behind him, a Heaven's Mandate Army also pierced his head with a spear. It was extremely tragic. In the next moment, Kong Lingyuan erupted again, tearing the ambusher apart. Blood splattered, and the golden body shattered. The legendary powerhouses with indestructible golden bodies died miserably at this moment. In a short period of time, both sides had lost more than 50 rank 9s. There were casualties on both sides, but more than 80% of the rank 9s in the catacombs were dead. Without Qi Huanyu, and with the Heaven's Mandate Army pinned down, they were no match for the humans' joint forces. In the blink of an eye, almost half of them were killed. Just when Brown Bear was about to smash Fang Ping's head again, his ears suddenly twitched. At this moment, someone actually sent him a voice transmission. Earth Demon True Lord, don't kill Fang Ping. Brown Demon was slightly stunned. Oracle? Why? Brown Bear also sent a voice transmission. He had already noticed who was sending the voice transmission. He quickly asked, "Are you the Divine Sex Oracle?" "I'm the Divine Sex Wind-Watching Oracle." The man quickly exchanged a secret signal with Brown Bear, and then said, "Don't kill Fang Ping." As for the Gate of All Living Beings, Lord Sec Protector had previously ordered that if Fang Ping really seized it, it should be left in the human world. Left for them? Brown Bear was a little angry. The Gate of All Living Beings should be left to the human world, martial artists? Yes, this is the Lord Sec Protector's order. This time, the human world will be destroyed. The Gate of All Living Beings is the catalyst. Earth Demon True Lord, please follow the order. Damn, he killed Mingyu and Faceless. And you want me to let him go? Sir, the Wind-Watching Oracle said sternly, this is the Divine Sex order. But there is no need to be too deliberate. The Divine Sect did not expect that the Gate of All Living Beings would fall into Fang Ping's hands. But since it has come to this, we will act according to the Divine Sex order. It was indeed unexpected that the Gate of All Living Beings fell into Fang Ping's hands. However, the Divine Sect had many plans, including the possibility of this happening. Since it had come to this, then the Gate of All Living Beings should be handed over to Fang Ping. Humph! Brown Bear snorted with mentality. At this time, the Wind Observer said quickly, Fang Ping will definitely die, and this time, when he goes out, he will definitely die. Sir, please calm down. The most important thing now is to rescue True Lord Di Qiao. The Divine Sect urgently needs the return of the Masters. We can't afford any more losses. 2 of the 4 True Lords had died. If Chang Qingzi died now, it would be a great loss. While he was speaking, Fang Ping and Qi Huanyu suddenly spat out blood. Fang Ping's eyes dimmed, and he fell to the ground almost at the same time as Qi Huanyu. In the blink of an eye, Fang Ping's aura dissipated. Seeing this, Brown Bear looked at the Gate of All Living Beings that had fallen to the ground. He was dumbfounded. The God Messenger had just said not to kill Fang Ping, and not to seize the Gate of All Living Beings, but now Fang Ping was dead. He could not just stand by and watch, could he? Brown Bear did not say much and fell to the ground. At this moment, the Wind Observer's mentality was in a rush. He shouted quickly, "Sir, retreat!" Brown Bear did not know, but how could he not know? Fong Ping had concealed his aura, and the three realms knew. Only people like Brown Bear, who had been here for thousands of years, knew nothing. But it was too late. Just now, Fong Ping had felt that something was wrong with Brown Bear's attack power. It had suddenly become much weaker. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Fong Ping had quickly fought with Qi Huanyu in the Source World, blowing up half of Qi Huanyu's floating island and severely injuring him. Although he was also injured, it was not as serious as he had shown. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Fong Ping wanted to catch Brown Bear off guard. In the blink of an eye, his aura dissipated. Martial artists who did not know would never have thought that Fong Ping could do this. He was just bullying Brown Bear. These people had not been out for thousands of years and did not know anything. As far as they knew, there was probably no one else who could do this. As for the catacombs martial artists earlier, Fong Ping had also concealed his aura. However, the situation was chaotic. His clones and his aura were still there. Brown Bear might not have sensed it clearly. Coupled with the temptation of the gate of all living beings, he did not believe that Brown Bear would not be stunned. As it turned out, Brown Bear was indeed stunned for a moment. He quickly landed and wanted to take the gate of all living beings. The moment the Wind Observer's voice came out, Fong Ping glanced in that direction. This time, the Wind Observer's mentality fluctuated violently. Fong Ping also noticed something unusual. He seemed to know who the God Messenger was. However, at this time, he could not care less about the other party. The moment Brown Bear landed, Fong Ping silently unleashed his mentality to the extreme, turning it into a thin needle and piercing it between Brown Bear's eyebrows. At the same time, a large amount of imperishable substance in Fong Ping's body erupted. His vitality erupted to the extreme. A Changdao in his hand condensed in the blink of an eye. He gathered all his strength and slashed at Brown Bear's head. Roar! Brown Bear's mentality was severely damaged. He roared, his eyes bloodshot. At this moment, it was too late to retreat. He punched both fists at Fong Ping. Boom! With a loud bang, half of Fong Ping's flesh was blown up. However, at this moment, the saber also fell, splitting Brown Bear in half. Fong Ping's lower body had disappeared, but it grew back quickly. Without a word, the Changdao in his hand appeared again. With a loud roar, he quickly charged at Brown Bear, who had been split in half. Buzz! The Changdao exploded again. With another slash, half of Brown Bear's body was smashed into pieces. The other half of the body screamed, but it did not escape. The other half of the body attacked Fong Ping, waving its fists and hitting Fong Ping's golden body continuously. At this moment, both of them were in a killing frenzy. It was extremely tragic. At this moment, Qi Huanyu seemed to be waking up. Fong Ping had not forgotten about him. When he saw this scene, he cursed in his heart. At this critical moment, Qi Huanyu was causing trouble for him again. If he did not kill him this time, he would be letting down those who had died down. Mother of Asterisk-Cur, you're forcing me. Fong Ping threw out a dozen or so balls of imperishable substance again. His mentality sliced some more. Crack. Fong Ping seemed to sense something different. At this moment, the world seemed to be less clear than before. His mentality had dropped 10,000 kilograms. However, it was not useless. A dozen or so clones attacked Qi Huanyu quickly. Qi Huanyu, who had just woken up, was also heavily injured and could not break away for a while. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly rushed forward and hugged the other half of the body. Completely ignoring the other's counterattack, he kicked wildly. Rumble, a large amount of flesh and blood burst out. Fong Ping was extremely fierce. His head also hit the other half of the other's head, crazily. Crack! Half of Man Xiong's head exploded again, but his voice was full of resentment. You want to kill me? It's not that easy. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a rumble. Half of the golden body exploded. Fong Ping's newly recovered golden body exploded again, but he laughed wildly, competing to be more ruthless. You're not qualified. Come on. Having said that, below the head, the golden body separated directly. Other than the head, the broken golden body exploded with a bang. In the void, Man Xiong, who had condensed a mentality body, thought that by exploding his golden body, the other party would more or less give him some time when he was injured. He did not expect Fong Ping to be ruthless. He might as well go straight to the point and explode half of his golden body directly. An earth-shattering explosion sounded. Man Xiong's illusory mentality body exploded almost instantly. No, resentment, angry roars, unwillingness at this moment. It rang throughout the battlefield. Rumble. The space battlefield shook violently. 3 true gods had fallen in a row. The Tao seemed to have the intention of spreading in. In the void, Man Xiong's mentality body disappeared in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping's mentality swept again, but this time he did not find Man Xiong's remaining mentality. Obviously, this fellow's mentality was probably not as strong as the other two, or he did not expect that he would die like this. The battlefield fell silent in an instant. Only Fong Ping's head was left floating in the air. On the other side, Qi Huanyu had killed his clone. At this moment, he was also panting heavily, his long spear propped on the ground. For a moment, he dared not go forward to fight with Fong Ping. The third true god had fallen. At this stage of the battle, everyone was incomparably tragic. No one was not injured. Fong Ping broke into a grin. At this moment, it was unusually horrifying. A floating head was grinning. If ordinary people saw this, they might be scared to death, especially when Fong Ping was bleeding from his 7 orifices. It was even more horrifying. Why struggle? At this moment, Qi Huanyu did not seem to care about the fall of the true gods. He sighed softly. Even if you get out of this place and bring the Demon Emperor's treasure out, I'm afraid you can't escape death. With such serious injuries, you don't even have a chance to escape. Fong Ping grinned. I'm willing. Even if I die, I'll bring some people with me. Humans are just like this. Don't you agree? The battlefield was incomparably silent. This was humans. Humans nowadays. Chapter 9, 83. 3 true gods had fallen. However, Fong Ping was also severely injured. At this moment, Qi Huanyu's aura was gradually getting stronger. Qi Huanyu looked at Fong Ping, who only had his head left and was recovering slowly. Qi Huanyu turned his gaze toward the gate of all beings and walked toward Fong Ping step by step. In the distance, everyone was still fighting. At this moment, there were fewer and fewer people. However, Qi Huanyu was not in a hurry. Although the catacombs' powerhouses were at a disadvantage, they could still hold on for a while. Kong Lingyuan and the rest would not come to their rescue so easily. Fong Ping had just returned to his waist. Seeing this, he laughed and said, "Do you think you can kill me now?" "You'll know once you try." "Qi Huanyu, why don't we make peace now? I will think of a way to help you get rid of the Fate King. That way, your Tao will be unobstructed, and you will be able to advance to become a true monarch." Qi Huanyu smiled and said softly, "Do you think I'll still believe everything you've said at this point? Fong Ping, you're too naive." It was enough that Fong Ping's injuries were more serious than his. "You," Fong Ping sighed, "you're even more naive than I am. Do you really think you can kill me? Do you really think this is all I, Fong Ping, have?" Qi Huanyu was already 100 meters away from him, but he did not act rashly. He was also worried that Fong Ping had a backup plan. Hearing this, he laughed and said, "Self-destructing immortal god. Fong Ping, can you really self-destruct? When I fought with you in the source world, there were probably many cracks in your brain. Even the source world was affected by them. If you self-detonate again, I won't even need to kill you. You'll die on your own. You even know about this." Fong Ping laughed, then sighed. "You're right. I really can't self-destruct anymore. If I self-destruct again, I'm afraid I'll die before you die." But Fong Ping paused. Qi Huanyu was extremely vigilant and stopped in his tracks again. "But you're always so stupid. Confidence. Even Ji Yao was inferior. At least Ji Yao knows that when she meets me, she should save some money to buy her life. Why can't you understand that?" At this moment, Qi Huanyu suddenly felt a sense of danger. At this moment, the two of them suddenly froze. Source world. In Qi Huanyu's origin, Great Tao. At this moment, Qi Huanyu was a little stunned. Then he said in disbelief, "No, how did you do it? Your divine artifact has already been taken by Ling Xiao. Why can you enter my source Tao without my permission?" Fong Ping laughed. "You're more powerful than I expected. You've woken up so quickly." Fong Ping was calm and composed. Walking on this 100-meter wide and 1,000-meter long avenue, he could not help but laugh. "Did you think that I entered your Tao of origin through a divine weapon?" Outside, he held the god-slaying saber and entered Qi Huanyu's path, almost severing his great Tao. At that time, no one thought much about it. Some people knew that divine weapons could sever the origin Tao. However, they did not know exactly how to sever it. This was because no one had ever owned a divine artifact, and there were only a few emperor-level powerhouses who had seen one. Therefore, at that moment, everyone felt that this was the uniqueness of the divine artifact. However, at this moment, Fong Ping entered Qi Huanyu's Tao of origin without a divine weapon. Qi Huanyu finally realized that Fong Ping's entry into his Tao of origin had nothing to do with the divine weapon. However, Qi Huanyu calmed down very quickly and said coldly, "So what? Without the divine weapon, you can't do anything to my Tao of origin." Their fight was in the world of origin, not the Tao of origin. In the Tao of origin, Fong Ping was only a projection of a wisp of consciousness. He could not do anything to him. Fong Ping was not anxious. He looked around and said, "Qi Huanyu, you're really quite powerful. Logically speaking, if you're not a true king, I should have entered without a sound. It's not easy for you to react so quickly. If your Tao hadn't been taken away by the Life King, you might not be weaker than the War King now. You're really talented." Humph! Fong Ping laughed and continued walking on his avenue. He looked around and murmured, "I'm actually curious. What's the flaw in your Tao of origin?" Qi Huanyu's consciousness body trembled slightly when he heard that. Then he said coldly, "I'm flawless." Hee. After Fong Ping laughed, Qi Huanyu's consciousness body dashed over quickly. He wanted to destroy Fong Ping's consciousness. Fong Ping could enter without a sound and not through a divine weapon. This made him feel threatened. "You might have been able to do that in the past. But now, can you chase me away?" Fong Ping was not flustered. He threw a punch at him, casually. Both of them felt a little weak. While Fong Ping was exchanging blows with him, he said, "Show me. Let me see what your flaws are. Perhaps not only can I kill you, but I can also kill the Life King. Don't move. I'll leave in a while." Fong Ping chuckled and looked around. There seemed to be some shadows appearing on the path. "Master, when I grow up, I want to be like you and become the strongest true king." A small figure was being held by an old man as he spoke in a childish voice. That was Qi Huanyu when he was young. "Master, I've become a divine general. Master, I've entered the Tao of divinity. Fang Ping walked deeper as he fought. Qi Huanyu, when he was young, when he was middle-aged, Qi Huanyu was different at every stage. However, he had a clear goal since he was young. He wanted to become the strongest true king, like his master. The strongest. This was his philosophy, an unshakable belief. It had never wavered. Because in his eyes, his master, the Life King, was the tallest, the most majestic mountain in his heart. He wanted to become a powerhouse like the Life King. However, gradually, Qi Huanyu seemed to notice that something was wrong. The Life King was more and more concerned about him. The origin Tao was a martial artist's most confidential secret. However, the Life King asked him which path he took, how his origin combat techniques were reassembled, and even took his origin Qi. In the beginning, he did not understand, or rather, he did not think that the Life King would harm him. He trusted his master. He told the Life King everything. The origin combat techniques, the direction of the origin Tao, origin Qi. He did not hide anything. Even when the Life King wanted to pry into his origin Tao by force, he cooperated because his master told him that he could help him correct some of the mistakes in his martial arts cultivation. He believed it. At that time, he was high-spirited. At that time, he was extremely powerful. Even though he had just entered the origin Tao, his battle prowess was extremely strong. His origin Tao was very smooth, so smooth that he felt that he would soon become a true monarch. However, Qi Huanyu soon realized that something was wrong. The further he went, the harder it was. There seemed to be some kind of resistance. His will had never wavered, and his dream had never changed. He had opened the path with his spear, and the great Tao was unstoppable. Why did he stop at that time? The origin Tao was getting harder and harder. However, he was still moving forward. Slowly, he approached the true monarch realm. At that time, his master suddenly told him to stop cultivating for the time being. The Destiny Royal Court was fighting everywhere, and there were many things to do. He wanted him to go to the Destiny Royal Court as the commander of the Destiny Army and deal with the Royal Court's war affairs. He was improving too quickly, and it was time to slow down. At that time, although Qi Huanyu felt that it was inappropriate, the Life King was the strongest true monarch, and he was also the master who had taught him since he was young. Naturally, Qi Huanyu had to listen. Thus, the Destiny Royal Court had gained an incomparably powerful deputy hall master. The Royal Court belonged to the Ji family, and he, Qi Huanyu, was also from the Ji family. He had done his best and poured his blood, sweat, and tears into strengthening the Royal Court. Even his cultivation had been delayed. However, he was still very satisfied. Under his leadership, the Royal Court had won many victories. Even when facing the Tianji army, led by the 3 divine generals, he was not the least bit afraid. He led the Tianji army to consecutive victories. However, all of this changed when he felt that he was about to advance. That day, the origin trembled. The origin great Tao that he could see ahead of him was suddenly blocked by a wall. That day, there was a rumor in the True Monarch Hall that the Life King had actually taken a second great Tao and had once again proven his Tao. His master was even stronger than before. At that moment, his master, who had only attained the Tao for a few years, had truly reached the peak of the divine continent. However, Qi Huanyu had collapsed, proving his Tao. What Tao? His master had only taken one Tao, so why would he suddenly prove his Tao? And on that day, his Tao was blocked. Why? He was about to ascend to the great Tao and become a true monarch expert, but his Tao was blocked. At that moment, Qi Huanyu had thought too much. Hate, 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 unwillingness, resentment, madness. All of this was vividly displayed within the quintessence Tao. Fong Ping chuckled as he watched. I thought you really didn't care. Now, it seems like you do. However, you're not stupid either. You didn't show it. Otherwise, I'm afraid the Life King wouldn't have kept you alive until now. Chi Huanyu did not say a word and fought with Fong Ping in a frenzy. Is this your flaw? I can't feel it. As Fong Ping fought with him, he said, What exactly is your flaw? This is strange. I feel like you've made up for many of your flaws over the years. You're really not simple. As Fong Ping spoke, his eyes moved quickly. Chi Huanyu, what's that place? At this moment, there seemed to be a smear of darkness at the end of the 1,000-meter Dao. Chi Huanyu's eyes turned red, and he said, angrily, Get out. Fong Ping's figure swayed and seemed a little illusory. Fong Ping exclaimed, Your willpower is really strong. I'm impressed. It almost made me collapse, but I have money. Chi Huanyu did not understand. Fong Ping broke into a grin. I have wealth. This was the path that the system directly opened up for him to enter. Otherwise, he would not be a match for his master, Chi Huanyu. In the origin Dao, it was a competition of willpower. This fellow's willpower was not weak. Moreover, this was his home ground. If it was invaded so easily, all the origin powerhouses would have died. However, Fong Ping was special. He was an exception. At this moment, Fong Ping had entered through the back door. He was considered a thief. Although Chi Huanyu, the master, had discovered him, it would not be easy to chase him away as a thief. Fong Ping quickly flew toward the darkness. That should be Chi Huanyu's weakness. Very soon, Fong Ping arrived there. At this moment, Fong Ping saw clearly what it was. It was a scene. It was a shocking scene. Fong Ping was in a daze. After a while, he said, You're amazing. Mother of asterisk cur, how did you hide it? Chi Huanyu did not say a word. The illusory figure had gone berserk and was fighting Fong Ping with all its might. Does the Life King know? I don't think so. If he knew, why would he tolerate it? Is he afraid that if he makes a move and you break down, he'll be affected too? But Mother of asterisk cur, you're amazing. Not only are you amazing, but the Life King is amazing too. I knew it. Why would Ji Yao call you Grandpa Huanyu? She's crazy. The Life King is her grandpa. You're her grandpa's disciple. You're the same generation as her father. It's normal for her to call you uncle, martial uncle. I can't believe I didn't consider this problem. You look old and Jihong looks young, so I didn't mind. I didn't expect this. I definitely didn't expect this. Fong Ping muttered to himself. His face was full of surprise and shock. Chi Huanyu finally could not hold it in anymore. He roared, What are you trying to do? TSK, what else can I do? I just want to know if the Life King will be affected if your Dao collapses. You're delusional. Fong Ping, do you think you can do anything to me? I'll find out after I try. Fong Ping grinned and disappeared into the origin Dao in the blink of an eye. In reality, both of them opened their eyes at the same time. Without saying a word, Chi Huanyu charged at Fong Ping. Fong Ping grinned and said, Chi Huanyu, don't be rash. If I roar now, will you go crazy because your secret has been discovered? Chi Huanyu ignored him and charged at him with his spear. At this moment, Fong Ping had gradually recovered his golden body. He resisted with difficulty and laughed. You won't kill me that easily. I, on the other hand, am thinking about how to make use of all this. Do you think I should roar to make you collapse or do something else? I feel that this secret might not only affect one of Fate King's Dao. Will it affect the other Dao as well? Chi Huanyu said coldly, I've long passed this stage. Do you think this little thing can affect me? Fong Ping, you're underestimating me. Is that so? Fong Ping grinned. With a sweep of Qi Huanyu's spear, Fang Ping's newly born golden body cracked again. The new body was no longer as powerful as before. Qi Huanyu's spear was like a dragon, stabbing holes in Fang Ping's body again and again. Fang Ping's breathing became weaker and weaker, but he was still smiling. The more you do this, the more it proves that you care. Qi Huanyu, I didn't expect this. You're quite capable. I really didn't expect that not only did you take revenge, but you did it so decisively. But I think, did you do it before the Life King took your Tao? Otherwise, this doesn't match. Ji Hong isn't young anymore, right? Before the Life King took his second Tao, he gave birth to Ji Hong, right? If that's the case, you betrayed the Life King first. How dare you betray the master you admire the most? I'm really too surprised. So all that determination you had and your worship of the Fate King are all nonsense. I've always thought that the catacombs powerhouses are cold-blooded and shouldn't care about women. But you actually slept with your master's wife and gave birth to Ji Hong. Mother of asterisk her, this is beyond my expectations. Ji Yao is really your granddaughter. No wonder you call her grandpa so affectionately. She doesn't know, does she? You're really something. Your son actually became a true king, and now you're the leader of Destiny Royal Court. I was wondering why you were so dedicated. Even if Destiny Monarch walked the same path as you still fought for Destiny Royal Court. If it were me, I would have smacked that useless Ji Yao to death. You, on the other hand, protected her time and time again, at all costs. It's not easy. Fang Ping's words might cause a riot in the catacombs if they were to spread. Ji Hong, the master of the Destiny Royal Court, the new true king, Qi Huanyu's son? Once these words were spread, the entire catacombs would be in an uproar. The dignified Destiny Royal Court's true king, Hall Master, the Life King, who was previously known as the #1 person in Divine Land, had been cuckolded by his own disciple? Did the Life King know? If he did, it would be shocking. Qi Huanyu's arm trembled. The hand that held the spear was shaking, but he gritted his teeth and continued to fight Fang Ping without saying a word. However, the aura on his body was fluctuating violently. Fang Ping chuckled. I'm very curious. How did you do it? The Life King is a top-notch powerhouse. Can't he sense whether you're his son or not? We're related by blood. Unless you're really the Life King's son? F***ck, that's too messy. If you're the Life King's son, then you and the Life King's partner gave birth to Ji Hong. F***ck. That woman is your mother? All right, even if you're an illegitimate child, according to the rules, that woman is your mother. F***ck, this is messy. I'm dumbfounded. It's very possible. Otherwise, how could a powerhouse like the Life King make a mistake? Unless you're related by blood to begin with. That's why the Life King overlooked this. Qi Huanyu's expression was ferocious. He said angrily, Nonsense! I've never betrayed Master. Do you believe me? Fang Ping burst out laughing. Do you believe it yourself? You're really something. I've always sympathized with you and felt that the Life King had let you down. But now it seems like you might have been discovered by the Life King. That's why he did such a thing and took away your origin, because he hated you too. But he didn't kill you. He took away your Tao so that you can't enter the true king realm for the rest of your life. He made you stay in this realm forever. For powerhouses, especially for geniuses like you, this is the greatest torture. If it were me, I would also go crazy if I stayed at peak rank 9 forever. The more Fang Ping said, the more he felt that it made sense. He laughed. It's really very possible. Maybe the Life King made Ji Hong the Lord, the true king, just to kill him in front of you and take away his Tao. It's just that the opportunity hasn't come yet. That's not right either. If that's the case, Ji Hong might be his grandson. Maybe he really likes this grandson. Let your son call him father and be your superior. When you attend some court meetings in the Destiny Royal Court, do you want to kneel to your son? It's very possible. It was impossible before, but Ji Hong became a true king. According to my understanding of the catacombs, your lord is a true king. Do you not kneel when you attend court meetings? Of course, your status is high. It's hard to say, but I don't believe that all these years your son has never reprimanded you or punished you. TSK, TSK. Chi Huanyu, you're detestable and pathetic. The Life King is a true powerhouse. He's vicious and ruthless. This kind of torture really can't be too ruthless. He placed you by your son's side, but you didn't dare to say it, didn't dare to mention it. Ha ha ha. Fong Ping laughed hysterically. Chi Huanyu went crazy. Fong Ping was right about some things. Did the Life King really not know? Chi Huanyu had always thought that the Life King did not know. Maybe he was just deceiving himself. The Life King was really too ruthless to him. Walking on his Tao made him stagnate in this realm for hundreds of years. What not to be a king was a disgrace. What the first person below the true king was also a disgrace. If he had become a true king in the early years, he might not be weaker than King Hua and the others now, let alone becoming an emperor. But he did not. All these years, he fought everywhere like a dog. Wherever there was danger, he would go. The Life King did not seem to be worried about him betraying him. He gave him a high position, the commander-in-chief of the Destiny Royal Court, commanding the entire royal court army. Initially, he thought that this was compensation. Now that he thought about it, was it really so? Maybe the Life King did it on purpose. He made you work like a slave, made you suffer for the rest of your life, made you want to commit suicide, but you could not. Sometimes killing a person might not be the best way to take revenge. Fong Ping was full of emotions. This is a big show, a really big show. I think this big show should be made into a TV series. Do you know what a TV series is? This melodramatic show should be broadcast on Earth so that billions of people around the world can see it. Later, I'll think of a way to see if the catacombs can broadcast it. With the sky screen now, maybe it's really possible. Chi Huanyu, you're famous. If this news spreads, will your son die? What about your granddaughter? Will Life King let you go after losing face? Ji Yao calls you Grandpa Huanyu. Was it you or the Life King who taught her? I'm really curious. If it's the Life King, damn, that'll be interesting. Ha ha ha. I don't think you're that stupid. That means it might really be the Life King who taught her. Enough. Chi Huanyu roared, his eyes red like blood. Yes, the Life King taught him. When Ji Yao was still young, she had just learned how to speak. The Life King pointed at him and laughed. Look at you. You're even older than me. All these years, you've worked hard for the royal court. If you and I were together, no one would be able to tell who's the master and who's the disciple if we didn't look at our strength. Little Yao, look at your master uncle. Isn't he even older than the royal ancestor? I'm afraid no one would care if he called me Grandpa. That day, Ji Yao, who had just learned how to speak, didn't remember anything but this. From that day onwards, he was the Grandpa Huanyu that Ji Yao called him, until today. Even if someone in the royal court corrected her, Ji Yao did not change her words. Maybe she was guided by the Life King's mentality back then. Damn it, Chi Huanyu roared. It was unclear whether he was talking about Fong Ping or the Life King. At this moment, Chi Huanyu's combat strength had skyrocketed. Fong Ping kept flying backward, blood splattering in the air. Fong Ping, however, was smiling brightly, an unrestrained outburst. In this place where energy could not be recovered, Chi Huanyu had even forgotten to save energy How long could he last if he continued to outburst like this? Did I poke his sore spot? Was this the flaw of his origin? All these years, did Chi Huanyu really not suspect anything? Maybe he was just pretending to be ignorant. His most trusted master did not seem to trust him. No, even he himself did not really trust the Life King. The relationship between the master and the disciple, or even the father and son, was too complicated. Chi Huanyu's eyes were turning blood red. He was incomparably crazy when he fought. Fang Ping could not take it anymore. His golden body exploded again. Fang Ping kept recovering, constantly using up large amounts of imperishable substance to restore his golden body and replenish his consumption. He did not retaliate. Right now, he had hurt his foundation. At this moment, it was difficult for him to recover completely. He might not be Chi Huanyu's match, but he could drag it out. If Chi Huanyu left with his men, now, Fang Ping might not be able to do anything to him. But he did not leave and kept on killing. If this went on, Fang Ping would seize the opportunity to destroy everyone in the catacombs today. In the distance, a Destiny Army powerhouse roared, "Temple Master! Temple Master, retreat!" On the other side, Kong Lingyuan and the rest had already gained the absolute advantage. The catacomb side was about to collapse completely. Previously, there were close to 100 people. Due to the lack of powerhouses, there were less than 30 people left now. As for the humans and overseas Immortal Islands forces, because they did not lack imperishable substance, they had more powerhouses. Currently, there were about 50 people left. If this went on, the catacombs would become weaker as the battle went on. Sooner or later, they would be destroyed. Chi Huanyu had suppressed Fang Ping. Since he could not kill Fang Ping now, he should either go back to help them and kill the others, or retreat with his men. Why did he have to fight Fang Ping to the death? The Destiny Army powerhouses did not understand. The Temple Master was usually not this impulsive. Fang Ping was difficult to kill, but if he went back to help and killed Kong Lingyuan and the rest, Fang Ping might not have the ability to help them. When the time came, wouldn't it be better to kill these people and attack Fang Ping together? Temple Master. The remaining people shouted one after another. A Heavenly Plant's royal court powerhouse bellowed, "Chi Huanyu, you're in cahoots with Fang Ping, you traitor!" Chi Huanyu was too much of a traitor. At this time, instead of returning to help, he was entangled with Fang Ping. Was it necessary? Traitor! These words seemed to agitate Chi Huanyu. Chi Huanyu's eyes were blood red, and he turned his head abruptly to look at the person who shouted. That person saw a pair of blood-red eyes and was shocked. The next moment, he roared, "Retreat!" There were more than 30 people, and there were about 10 people left on the Heavenly Plant's royal court side. At this moment, he felt that Chi Huanyu had gone mad. If that was the case, there was no need to accompany him in his madness. If Chi Huanyu was not crazy, they still had the strength to fight. However, such a top-notch powerhouse had gone mad. They could not defeat the martial artists who had been resurrected. The Heavenly Plant's royal court powerhouses had long been afraid of killing. At this moment, in order to escape, they did not care about the others anymore and fled. Rumble! Another series of explosions rang out. Many of the remaining people were killed in the blink of an eye. As such, the situation became even worse. Temple Master! Someone howled sorrowfully. In the blink of an eye, his voice dissipated as he was killed on the spot. These people could not understand why the wise and mighty Temple Master would end up like this today. Kong Lingyuan and the rest wanted to come to Fang Ping's side to help, but Fang Ping roared, "Kill the enemies, leave no one alive." Hearing that, Kong Lingyuan did not say anything else. He quickly led his people to chase after those who were fleeing. A chaotic battle had begun. At this moment, Fong Ping was still constantly provoking Qi Huanyu. The more he provoked, the crazier Qi Huanyu became. Gradually, his aura began to drop. Fong Ping, who had been defending without attacking earlier, began to counterattack at this moment. In the beginning, both sides were evenly matched. However, as the battle continued, Qi Huanyu began to be suppressed. Boom! Fong Ping blasted half of his body with a punch. An arrow of blood shot out of his mouth and pierced through his head. Qi Huanyu could not recover even after a long time. He had used up everything. At this moment, Qi Huanyu seemed to have sobered up. The blood in his eyes disappeared. He glanced at Fong Ping with a complicated gaze that could not be put into words. Fong Ping, when powerhouses kill each other, their families should not be implicated. Life King and Ji Hong are both true kings. I don't need to say anything more. Ji Yao is innocent. She has never killed a martial artist who had been resurrected. There are also innocent people in divine land. At this moment, Qi Huanyu was completely sober. His gaze shifted. Seeing Fong Ping's fist approaching, he laughed mournfully. In this life of mine, Life King was the one to succeed, and Life King was the one to fail. I can't blame him. But some things are not what you think. Fong Ping, at this moment, Qi Huanyu did not struggle to escape. He looked at Fong Ping and suddenly transmitted his voice. Rao Yao, or doesn't die. You guys get out. Be careful this time. Divine land, 2 kings, Grandmaster. All parties might have joined forces. This time, I'm going to kill you guys. Fong Ping's pupils contracted sharply. The true kings of resurrection came out in full force, thinking that they could plot against all living beings. Little did they know, you guys are the targets of all parties. This is top secret. Fong Ping, don't kill Yao. This is my only request. Qi Huanyu laughed mournfully again. I'm not a king, but a king. I'm a peerless prodigy. How can I die like this? I should be a king. Rumble. A loud noise was heard. In the void, a path collapsed. At the end of the black wall, a crack seemed to have been forcefully torn open. At this moment, Qi Huanyu's aura was terrifyingly powerful. I'm a true king. When a true king dies, heaven and earth collapse. Ha ha ha. A hearty laugh reverberated throughout heaven and earth. Rumble. The path that had just broken through the wall collapsed instantly. At this moment, the color of the space battlefield seemed to have changed. Blood. This was the first time something like this had happened. The true king's death had affected the space battlefield because he had achieved Dao here. Ha ha! Hearty laughter and crazy laughter rang out continuously in the void. The path collapsed. Below, Qi Huanyu's body collapsed and exploded, leaving nothing behind. I died under the Dao. Fong Ping can't kill me. Ha ha ha! His last hearty laugh was heard. The void turned blood red. In the blink of an eye, Qi Huanyu's aura disappeared from heaven and earth. Chapter 984. Rumble. Heaven and earth rumbled, and a rain of blood fell. 4 true monarchs have fallen. A murmur sounded in the outside world. Right at this moment, the Fate Monarch's aura erupted. Energy gushed out, and the cracks in the void in the surroundings became chaotic. Fate King remained silent. But at this moment, it attracted the attention of everyone. The aura of the Life King seemed to be declining. The one who died is Qi Huanyu? He achieved Dao? Impossible. Sounds of shock could be heard. Qi Huanyu was dead, and he died because he became a true monarch. This was too surprising. Many people knew that Qi Huanyu's Dao had been taken away by the Fate Monarch. At this moment, a true king murmured, "He's dead, Back then, he was so talented that all the kings in the God continent thought he would be able to achieve the Tao quickly. In the end, he was stuck at the God Tao realm, unable to advance. He's not a king, but he's a king. He's cultivated the divine Tao to a level no one has ever reached before or since. Some true monarchs were deeply moved. The limit of 400,000 calories. This was the only person they knew who had done it. Who else could? Had the most outstanding martial king of today done it? Not necessarily. When King Wu was at rank 9, he did not seem to be too powerful. At the very least, he was not as powerful as Qi Huanyu was now. Many true kings were martial artists of the same generation as Qi Huanyu. In that era, he alone suppressed all heroes. Everyone thought that he would be able to corroborate his Tao quickly, just like unquestionable Jian during the era of the sections. During those years in God Continent, Qi Huanyu was unquestionable Jian. As for the 3 immortal generals of the Sky Plant's royal court, that was something that happened after him. Furthermore, even when the 3 god generals were famous in God Continent, they had never gained the upper hand against Qi Huanyu. Even when the 3 of them joined forces to fight him, they did not gain any advantage. When the 2 armies fought, Qi Huanyu led the Heaven's Mandate Army and fought with the Tianji army many times when they were at their peak, but they still won more than they lost. Many people felt sorry for such a person. If not for the Fate Monarch, perhaps Qi Huanyu would also be a powerful ruler now, not the so-called king of non-kings. Qi Huanyu is dead. At this moment, someone's expression suddenly changed. If he's dead, what about the others? For true monarchs had fallen. Among them was Qi Huanyu, a true king who was almost impossible to break through. Such a powerful person had actually died in the process of breaking through. Were the others still alive? This time, God Continent had 800 god generals. Even though there were many experts in God Continent, if all of them died, it would be an unbearable loss. The blood rain continued to fall. This time, for true monarchs fell. A rain of blood descended. Last time, there were 5 of them. Everyone was well aware of what this meant. Some people's great Tao was too strong, and they were comparable to 2. Needless to say, it belonged to Qi Huanyu. He, a true king who couldn't break through, broke through. If he survived, he might become terrifyingly powerful. Walking 3,000 meters in a day wasn't an illusion at all. Now he was dead. The surroundings quickly quietened down. Qi Huanyu's death also meant that the trip to the King Battleground was coming to an end. Since the leader of God Continent's side was dead, the others would probably be doomed as well. The leader of Realm Beyond Heaven, Gu Qing, was dead, and so was the true king left behind by that organization. No one knew how he died. However, if the humans were not completely wiped out, it would definitely be related to them. At this moment, everyone turned to look at Zhang Tao, and the rest with strange gazes. Zhang Tao ignored them. At this moment, he was also feeling a little strange. Zhang Tao didn't make a sound, and no one dared to provoke him. At the same time, Ji Hong, who was beside Fate King, had a strange expression. He glanced at Fate King and asked softly, "Senior brother is really dead?" Fate King remained silent. Ji Hong had a complicated expression. Dead. Qi Huanyu was dead. After an unknown period of time, Fate King retracted his aura and the void stopped shattering. He said calmly, "So what if he's dead? Trash." He led 800 god generals in God Continent to die here. "Father," Ji Hong said in a low voice, "Senior brother has made great contributions to the royal court. In times of crisis, he led the Heaven's Mandate Army to battle everywhere, becoming the strongest royal court among the 4 royal courts. His contributions cannot go unnoticed, but now he has passed away. Fate King was too heartless. That was his disciple. A general of heaven's will army. Fate King wasn't this strong back then. When King Qian was still around, the three god generals roamed God continent. Under the circumstances where true kings didn't make a move, it was Qi Huanyu who turned the tide and led the Heavens Will Army. That was how Heavens Will Army was today. Otherwise, Heavens Will Army wouldn't be so peaceful. If not for the deaths of a few true kings a few days ago, Heavens Will Army wouldn't have suffered any losses over the years. Fate King remained silent. Ji Hong sighed. After a long time, he said, Yao, heir, has been close to senior brother since young. If she knew that senior brother died here, I'm afraid. Fate King said calmly, Afraid what? Father, Fate King ignored him. He looked around and said slowly, Everyone, God continent has lost. Yes, lost. Even though Daoist Fengyan couldn't update the death list after entering the space battlefield, they knew that they had lost. Their leader was dead. There weren't many survivors to begin with. Now, it was hard to say if anyone was still alive. Fate King continued, The king battlefield must be broken today. Since everyone is here, I'll say this first. The two kings must not be left alive. Today, God continent will annihilate the two kings. Whoever dares to interfere and cause trouble will be punished by God continent. Ha ha ha, I don't care about the two kings. However, I want to see the earthly emperor's relic. In its entirety, I've seen the earthly emperor's relic in the past. Perhaps everyone can look at it together. There's no need to fight to the death. Some venerable emperors spoke up. As for the two kings, they didn't care. On the peak, Zhang Tao looked around in silence. What's wrong? Zhang Tao was very excited when a true king died. Now, that Qi Huanyu was dead. It meant that the humans had probably won. Now, that Qi Huanyu was dead. It meant that the humans had probably won. If that was the case, why was he silent? It's almost over. Once Fong Ping gets the treasure, I'm afraid he'll become everyone's target. I'll give it to you. We were going to use it anyway. Battle King didn't understand. This was arranged beforehand. If Fong Ping really got it, Zhang Tao would use it as bait to lure them into the trap set by the cat. Wouldn't that be smooth sailing? Why was he still worried now? Zhang Tao was silent for a moment. Then he said, I've led all the humans' powerhouses here. Didn't you notice that? No one was surprised. No one discussed how to deal with us. Did the Life Kings and the rest expect all the powerhouses to gather here when the King Battleground was opened? They probably didn't. However, they were all here. Although the Life Kings and the rest were angry, they didn't appear to discuss how to deal with them. As for telepathy, it was a big deal. Even if it was telepathy, it would be strange. No, these people didn't seem to consider this. A group of true kings. None of them thought about this. If that was the case, they were already prepared to fight with humans? Zhang Tao frowned slightly. There were more than 200 catacombs, true kings. There were only 50 or so humans. But the two kings hadn't appeared yet. Moreover, there were so many powerhouses watching. Weren't the catacombs guys afraid that everyone would join forces to kill the strongest catacombs? First, Zhang Tao said no more. He continued to look around. No one knew what he was thinking. At the same time, in the space battlefield, the killing had also reached the final moment. One catacombs powerhouse after another was killed. Some escaped. After all, there were dozens of powerhouses. Humans could not kill them all on the spot. However, there were definitely less than 10 people who escaped. The catacombs had 800 rank 9s and hundreds of rank 8s who entered the King Battleground. At this moment, even if there were some survivors in the outside world, including the remaining martial artists here, there would not be more than 30 people. More than 900 powerhouses were almost wiped out. These were not the key points. The key point was that the catacomb's strongest person, Qi Huanyu, was killed on the spot. This was a huge blow to the entire catacombs. The first person below, the true kings, not a true king, but a true king, the commander-in-chief of the Destiny Royal Court Army. It was simply unbelievable that such an expert had been killed without the help of a true monarch. Soon, Kong Lingyuan and the rest finished hunting the enemies and rushed to Fang Ping's side. Jiang Kuei, Yu Wuhua, Li Wuji, and the rest were still alive. At this moment, they looked at Fang Ping with complicated expressions. Fang Ping's golden body had recovered. He looked at the place where Qi Huanyu disappeared without saying a word. Soon, Fang Ping looked at Li Wuji and the rest. All sides wanted to exterminate humans. Humans, had they reached this stage? Humans are the real threat to all sides. They can't allow humans to grow stronger because they might end up sacrificing humans. The bitterness in Fang Ping's heart was unbearable. He did not feel the excitement of killing a strong enemy. Zhang Tao, do you know that humans have been targeted by the powerhouses from all sides as a must-kill target? Maybe you do. Otherwise, why would you come up with such a plan? But can you imagine this time it will happen? Right now. A conspiracy. Everything was a conspiracy. Maybe all sides had an agreement. This time they would exterminate human powerhouses. If the desperados were all dead, humans would be lambs waiting to be slaughtered. They would no longer have any strength to resist. They could sacrifice the humans on Earth anytime they wanted. Zhang Tao might think that it was not the time yet. After all, many forces had only recently emerged. Fate King, and the rest had planned to deal with the two kings. But was it really impossible? Qi Huanyu said it was just a possibility. But Fang Ping felt that this was related to the future of all humans. He could not treat it as a possibility. Fang Ping, Kong Lingyuan looked at Fang Ping worriedly and asked hurriedly, "Are your injuries serious?" Fang Ping shook his head gently. He looked at Yu Wuhua and the rest and smiled. "You guys want to snatch the treasure? Now, you may not have the chance. I don't want to kill anymore, especially my comrades who fought alongside me just now." Their expressions were complicated. Jiang Kuei said in a low voice, "You said that after you snatch the treasure, you can let us have it after we get out." Fang Ping glanced at him and smiled. "Everyone has a chance. Let's talk about it after we save it. After we get out, Weiyu Mountain's venerable emperors have to contribute. Otherwise, can we really save so many powerhouses now? I, Fang Ping, promise that if your venerable emperors contribute, I will definitely give everyone a fair chance to compete," Fang Ping murmured in his heart. Would venerable Emperor Qingtong contribute? Would he? Jiang Kuei frowned slightly and said nothing. Fang Ping looked at Yu Wuhua and the rest and smiled. "You guys too. Everyone will only have a chance if the treasure is saved." Having said that, Fang Ping turned and looked at Chang Qingzi on the altar. He smiled. Not dead yet. Fang Ping did not go to the altar. He did not trust anyone now. He did not trust the owner of this place either. "Everyone, let's work together and kill this person." Fang Ping growled. Without another word, an energy Changdao condensed in his hand and attacked Chang Qingzi from a distance. When the others saw this, they also attacked. They did not know why this true god was fixed on the altar, but it was a rare opportunity. Such a powerhouse was indeed a threat. Kill him first. Rumble. Streams of lifeblood power and energy power shot toward Chang Qingzi. At this moment, Chang Qingzi's eyes opened abruptly, and he let out a beast-like roar. Fang Ping ignored him. Since the owner of this place had agreed to help him deal with him, he had not killed the other until now. Fang Ping was already suspicious of his sincerity. That fellow, did he not have the ability to kill, or was he unwilling to? No matter what, Fong Ping was already satisfied that the other party could control Chang Qingzi. He just did not dare to trust him completely. While Fong Ping attacked Chang Qingzi, he searched his mind for the contact cat. Deep in the Forbidden Sea, even the cat wanted to doze off. However, it quickly perked up and said quickly, "Liar, do you want to pay me back?" Fong Ping was speechless. He was not in the mood to talk to it. He said quickly, "The second king, Grand Master, and the catacombs might join forces to deal with human powerhouses. Cat, can you tell Minister Zhang?" Cat was surprised. "Join forces? Then you're in trouble. They have a lot of powerhouses, and I seem to have found the scent of a few old acquaintances. It seems like they've all come out this time. That town, or whatever, they might be in trouble. Heavenly King." Fong Ping's tone changed completely. Everyone had doubted Heavenly King's position in the past. However, the more he knew, the more Fong Ping felt that humans could survive until now because of Heavenly King's secret protection. Now, someone actually wanted to deal with Heavenly King. How powerful was Heavenly King? Second on the Emperor ranking. Not counting the cat, he was the real #1 in the 3 realms. Old Zhang used to be full of confidence that he could deal with Heavenly King. Could he really do it now? Fong Ping was worried. He asked hurriedly, "Who?" Heavenly King might be one of the 8 kings. He was a top powerhouse back then. Even unquestionable Jian was ranked below him. Unquestionable Jian could deal with many emperors. He could deal with at least 5 or 6, 8 kings. The cat muttered, "Is that so? I'm not familiar with the 8 kings. They didn't appear much back then. I only remember there was a Kuan king or something. I think he was the son of the earthly sovereign. I don't really remember. However, I seem to smell something familiar this time. Could it be the 8 kings? Whatever. They're very powerful anyway. Maybe they're here to deal with that old man." Old man. It did not even know how old it was. If it were any other time, Fong Ping would have made fun of the Heavenly King for calling him old man. However, he really did not have the mood to do so now. He asked hurriedly, "Can I tell them?" "I don't know." The cat muttered, "You're weak. That's why I can look for you. But they're very strong. The source world is solid. I'm not Imperial Cat. How can I communicate so easily?" Fong Ping smiled bitterly. At this time, this cat still wanted to attack him. "So what if I'm weak? If I'm weak, I've also killed a few true kings. You try. Tell them in advance so they can be prepared. I'm very worried. If something happens to them, humans are really finished." Fong Ping was a little pessimistic, helpless and powerless. "I'm very strong. I've killed a few true kings, but I'm really powerless. I've killed so many rank 9. So what? Once these paragons are surrounded and killed, humans are finished. Blood sacrifice to Earth. Billions of people. Are those people so heartless? No, are they still humans? Not for a long time. In order to prolong their lives and to become emperors, they have long become the immortals that the 9 emperors mentioned. Do immortals care about humans?" Fong Ping was sad. The cat seemed to feel this emotion. It comforted him in a rare way. "Don't be afraid. I've already set up a trap. When the heavenly realm appears and the emperor's aura appears, these people may not have the intention to kill you." Fong Ping suppressed the uneasiness in his heart. He smiled bitterly. "All right, help me try to inform them. Big Cat, I'll have to trouble you this time. When you come back from there, I'll make you delicious food and drinks. I want a lot of food. Oh yes, I want true God drinks. Different flavors. At least more than 10 kinds. Oh yes, I want true God big fish. I want Emperor too. Fang Ping said helplessly. Okay. If this cat really wanted to come back, if the plan was successful, it would be a few years later. Let's talk about it then. He agreed without any hesitation, and the cat also had a smile on its face. Does this mean that I might be able to drink true God drinks tomorrow? Will the swindler be surprised to see me tomorrow? The cat quickly disconnected from Fang Ping. It scratched its head with its paws. After a while, it muttered, contacting the pseudo-emperor. It's so troublesome. I don't even know what his origin is like. Sigh, it's so troublesome. The cat shook its tail, closed its eyes, and quickly entered the cat's world. As soon as it entered the cat's world, a large number of fish-headed monsters seemed to act instinctively. They roasted themselves and quickly floated into the cat's mouth. The cat ate a few monsters and dug around in the cat's world with its buttocks in the air. After a while, it dug out a stone tablet. The cat held the stone tablet and thought for a while. It used its claws to carve Zhang Tao's appearance on the stone tablet. After a while, it thought again. The God-forbidding staff appeared. Zhang Tao used the fishing rod and the God-forbidding staff before. Right now, the cat seemed to be stripping the aura. After a while, a wisp of aura merged into the stone tablet. Then, the cat took out the Sky Destroyer and started poking at the stone tablet, chanting, "Poke the pseudo-emperor to death. Poke the pseudo-emperor to death. I'll poke. Outside the king's battleground, Zhang Tao frowned slightly. His expression changed slightly. In the next moment, Zhang Tao's figure appeared on a huge platform. This was his origin world. The platform was huge. The layout was also interesting. Rows of bookshelves were placed here. There seemed to be books and words on them. Li Zhen'er's Affair, Nanyan Yubagua Collection, Jiang Tianming's Biography, Li Venting Rumors, Fang Ping Collection, Song Cat Record. The books seemed to exist in reality. Zhang Tao was not interested in reading these books. He looked around and suddenly lifted his head. High up in the sky, a thin film like a canopy blocked the expansion of the origin world. However, at this moment, it was being poked until it bulged. Zhang Tao was stunned. What was this? It seemed like someone was poking him in his origin world. The canopy in the sky was like a sticky candy. It was being poked and stretched, but it did not break. Someone wants to pry into my origin Tao. Zhang Tao was a little dazed. Then his brows furrowed again, as if he had thought of something. With a low roar, he broke through the air, both hands pulling at the canopy. With a roar, he tore a small crack in the canopy. Ah, fake human emperor, I found you. A cheerful shout was heard. The canopy was closing up. The Song Cat said hurriedly, I used 14 divine weapons to make the trap you wanted. You have to return it to me. Zhang Tao was stunned. All right. I know you're poor. The liar said that he'll return it, so he'll return it. Right. The liar asked me to tell you that you're finished. What second king? What grandmaster? Anyway, everyone is coming to deal with you. Also, that old man, there are people coming to deal with him too. They're very strong. I've said it before. I only set traps and don't fight. I can't beat them either. If you can't come, I won't care about you. I'll find a place to hide and sleep. Also, whenever you're going to explode, just think of me. Oh, right. Don't let your imagination run wild. Otherwise, I'll poke you every day until you die. The Song Cat bared its fangs and brandished its claws threateningly. In an instant, the canopy closed up. Zhang Tao's expression changed slightly. Everyone was going to deal with them. He had expected it, but he did not expect it to be now. The next moment, Zhang Tao's expression was sorrowful and somewhat self-deprecating. So, I've been scheming against you, and you've been scheming against us. I've underestimated you. But now, The arrow is knocked. There's no way out. Zhang Tao smiled self-deprecatingly, his eyes blank. Do humans still have a way out? There's no way out for humans anymore. Ha ha ha. We can only fight for our lives in the face of death. When have we humans ever had a way out? The next moment, Zhang Tao's consciousness returned. He looked around with a faint smile. Will anyone help us this time? Will anyone? I don't know. Humans have become the public enemy. What a joke. What have we done wrong? In this world, apart from being independent, who else can we rely on? The human race should have a conclusion. In this three realms, who are humans and who are immortals? Human immortals are divided. Then let me, Zhang Tao, do it. Zhang Tao seemed to be crying and laughing at the same time. The next moment, he transmitted his voice to the peak of humanity and said in a low voice, "Fight to the death, fight to the death, fight to the death." 3 consecutive fight to the death. At this moment, everyone's expression was solemn. Has it come to this? There's an accident in the plan. In the distance, the void trembled slightly. Heavenly King walked out of the crack and looked around. His smile was no longer there. Fight to the death. Are old friends here? The atmosphere gradually became solemn. The battlefield of the kings is probably going to open. At this moment, blood rain fell from the sky once again. The great Tao collapsed again. Today, 5 kings had fallen. Blood rain poured down. Zhang Tao allowed the blood rain to cover him, allowing the blood rain to fall. His entire body was dyed red. The color of blood was horrifying. Zhang Tao smiled. Blood rain. There will be blood rain today. It's just an appetizer. Today, the human demon will reappear. P.S. I'm really not a mage by Qiong Shisan. Brothers, please add it to your collection. Chapter 9, 85. In the space battlefield, Fang Ping and the others had killed Chang Qingzi. This true god powerhouse probably could not rest in peace. His death was too unjust. He allowed a group of rank 9 powerhouses to attack him without any resistance. He could only watch helplessly as he was killed. If it were Fang Ping, he would rather self-destruct than be tortured like this. Fang Ping, who had killed Chang Qingzi, had indeed said this. This guy has been yelling for a long time. He might as well self-destruct. He just had to wait for us to kill him. Everyone was speechless. Even ants were greedy for life, let alone true god powerhouses. Chang Qingzi would not give up until the last moment. At this moment, Fang Ping also began to count the number of people. When they entered, there were 65 powerhouses. Now, there were not many left. 48 people. 17 people died in battle. The 4 great true god powerhouses, including Qi Huanyu, were all killed by Fang Ping. Fang Ping also killed some rank 9s and entangled the Destiny Army powerhouses. Even so, 17 people still died in battle. It could be seen that the remaining catacombs powerhouses were indeed the elites of the elites. 17 people, many from overseas immortal islands, had died in battle. Some from Weiyu Mountain and other grotto heavens had also died. On the human side, a few people had died too. Fang Ping had brought 50 Sino Nation powerhouses in. Including Star Town, there were close to 70 powerhouses. These 70 people were all from Sino Nation. At this moment, there were only about 20 Sino Nation martial artists left. About less than 20 Sino Nation powerhouses had gone out. In total, there were only about 40 surviving martial artists in Sino Nation. Almost 30 top-notch powerhouses had died in battle. The weakest was a rank 4th level. Sino Nation had never suffered such a loss before. They could not afford it either. Out of 30 top-notch powerhouses, 14 rank 8s had died in battle. This meant that 16 rank 9s had died in battle this time. Fong Ping really did not feel too excited at this moment. 16 rank 9s from Sino Nation had died in battle. There were only about 80 rank 9s in Sino Nation, including Star Town. A loss of 20%. This was the accumulation of new martial arts for 100 years. No, there was also Star Town's accumulation of 300 years. On Star Town's side, Wei Yong, the Wei family head, Zhou family head, and Jiang family head were dead. Many rank 9s had died in battle. Aside from Polaris, many rank 9s in Sino Nation had also died in battle. Fong Ping surveyed his surroundings. A faint look of sorrow appeared on his face. There were some people he was not familiar with. However, there were some people he was familiar with. Elder Fan Haiping, the powerhouse who had been guarding the Magic City catacombs for many years, was dead. After the destruction of the Magic City catacombs, the old man who could not stop grinning from ear to ear was dead. When Sky Gate City was destroyed back then, when this old man was chatting with Fong Ping, his smile was as bright as the sun. He was also one of the few rank 9s who were over 100 years old. He had spent most of his life in Magic City's catacombs. Initially, he thought that after the destruction of Magic City's catacombs, he would go to Nanjiang to hold the fort, where he would be more at ease. Who would have thought that once they left Nanjiang this time, they would never be able to return? Other than Fan Haiping, there was also a powerhouse that Fong Ping knew, Northern Spear King Wang Yu. This top-notch rank, 9 from the central government, used to be ranked 10th on the rank 9 ranking list, second only to Wu Chuan, who was ranked 9th back then. And now, he had also died in the catacombs. The Southern Spear King had also perished in a previous battle. Now that the Southern and Southern Spear Kings were dead, Zhang Weiyu no longer had to worry about someone breaking through to the next realm and snatching his title of Spear King. Silence. Beside the altar, everyone was silent. This time, a total of more than 500 people from the overseas Immortal Islands and humans had entered. Now, other than the few who had gone out, only these few survived in the end. More than 400 powerhouses had died in battle. On Weiyu Mountainside, 30 rank 9s had come, but now only 5 or 6 of them had survived. On the overseas Immortal Island side, they had also suffered extremely heavy losses. Fong Ping looked around and did not say anything about this. He said softly, "Everyone, I have obtained the treasures, but now it's not the end." Yes, it was not the end, Fong Ping said in a low voice. "If nothing goes wrong, once we leave the space battlefield, the Second King's people will definitely attack. Not only the Second King's people, I think the Wanwu Mountains people seem to be waiting outside too. Right now, we still don't know why they're here. Right now, we're all a group of wounded soldiers. At this time, I'm afraid we'll be facing true God-level powerhouses. If it's just one, it's still okay, but if it's a few, can we really get out of here alive?" The crisis was not over yet. It was still early. Fong Ping knew all these very well. Jiang Kuei took a deep breath and said, "If you want to avoid the Second King's people, then it's best to break the space battlefield here and get out directly." Fong Ping said lightly, "Let's not talk about whether we can break it or not. If the King battlefield is not broken yet, once we get out, we'll instantly become a thorn in everyone's side. That's why we still have to break the King battlefield and let the Second King appear. Only then will we have enough time to mess up the situation." Breaking the stalemate was still on the Second King's side. Even if the Second King had really joined forces with some people, even if they were pretending, they would not immediately become enemies with the humans. Therefore, if they wanted to buy more time, The only way was to break the king battlefield. However, if they wanted to break the king battlefield, then they had to get out of the space battlefield. Having said that, Fang Ping asked again, "Everyone, how many avatars do you have left behind by the emperor-level powerhouses?" "I have." "Me too." The few of them spoke up one after another. On the overseas Immortal Islands side, although there were not many who survived, most of them were leaders from all sides. Yu Wuhua, Li Wuqi, people from Dragon Island. There were all these people, a total of 5 emperor-level powerhouses, avatars. There were also avatars on Jiang Kuei's side. On the Xuanda Grotto Heavens side, although Xianhua had retreated, there were still people who stayed behind, and they also brought along an avatar. On the 6 Great Grandmasters side, there were only 2 avatars. There were a total of 8 avatars. At this moment, Bei Gongyin opened his mouth and said, "Before I came, Minister left me 1 too." Fang Ping looked at him abruptly and let out a soft humph. He was slightly annoyed. Bei Gongyin knew why he was angry. If he had used the emperor-level avatar when they were besieged earlier, he might have been able to save a few people. Of course, more people might have died. However, if Fang Ping had known about Zhang Tao's avatar, there was a high chance that he would have used it earlier. He would not wait any longer. Bei Gongyin said in a low voice, "Minister Fang, we need to break the king battlefield." Humans needed to break the king battlefield. Therefore, even if they suffered heavy losses, he did not use this avatar because he wanted to use it to break the king battlefield. At this moment, in the crowd, Jiang Yuanhua said, "Before we came, Heavenly King Suppressing also gave us an avatar." Fang Ping did not get angry again. Breaking the king battlefield was indeed one of the most important tasks of the humans' plan. If the 2 kings refused to come out, and the true kings in the outside world did not dare to take the risk and attack, then the plan this time would fail. It was normal for the humans to be prepared. Fang Ping did not dwell on this topic. He said, "That's 10 emperor-level powerhouses, avatars. Those fellows who died in the catacombs and those who died in the Grandmaster's battle should have brought some with them. Have you looted them?" In the king battlefield, even if these emperor-level powerhouses' avatars had consciousness, they would not appear. This was because it would easily trigger the Chaos Origins attack. Therefore, unless the master used them, these avatars would not appear on their own. When Fang Ping asked this, Kong Lingyuan answered, "I found 2, but we're not their descendants or disciples. Just give them to me later. Tell me who owns them." Others could not use them, but Fang Ping did not have this concern. He had seen almost all the people who participated in the previous battle and remembered their auras. Those people were not as strong as him. He could still use their auras if he simulated them. As for the 2 avatars that were left behind and not used, Fang Ping was not surprised. A true god's avatar might not be very powerful. Even an emperor-level avatar depended on how much mentality was cut. If it was cut less, it might not be as powerful as the imperishable matter avatars that Fang Ping had created previously. Using avatars in the king battlefield was because these true gods and emperor levels origins were powerful and could trigger the chaos origin to riot. Otherwise, the avatar's combat strength would be average. 12 avatars. Fang Ping calculated for a while and said, "With so many powerhouses, if all their avatars appear under the chaos origin, it will definitely cause a big riot. But can they tear the king battlefield apart?" Fang Ping calculated for a while and felt that it should not be a big problem. Back then, one of Life King's avatars had directly exploded the rank 7 territory. Now that there were 12 avatars, it would not be too difficult to destroy the entire king battlefield's boundary wall. Yu Wuhua continued, "To destroy the graveyard of gods. These should be enough. But now, we might not have the chance to use them." Yu Wuhua said with some worry, Even if we want to release our avatars, we have to leave the space battlefield. I'm a little worried that the Second King's people will be waiting for us at the exit. As soon as we show up, the true gods will intercept and kill us. If they have a true god alive, after so many years, they might be able to temporarily avoid the Chaos Origins attack. Fong Ping laughed. It's okay, don't worry about this. What I'm thinking about now is how to bring everyone out safely. Since we came with me, I don't want any more accidents to happen to everyone at this stage. Fong Ping pondered for a moment and said, I'll think of a way to release the powerhouse's avatars. As for you guys, I'll see if there's a way to let you guys go first. Fong Ping. Kong Ling Yuan's expression changed slightly. Fong Ping waved his hand lightly. After hesitating for a while, he still walked up the altar. Seeing him walking toward the altar, everyone's expression changed slightly. Chang Qingzi was fixed on the altar. They saw it, but did not ask. There was something unusual here, but a true god had been fixed. They were also unwilling to cause more trouble, lest they cause trouble. Now that Fong Ping walked over, thinking that Fong Ping had run down from the altar. Everyone had some thoughts in their minds. On the altar, as soon as Fong Ping went up, his mentality fluctuated quickly and said, Thank you for your help, Senior. Sigh. A sigh sounded beside his ear. Fong Ping did not say much. He said quickly, Senior, this is your origin world. Can you open up another exit for people to leave? This can be done. Are you guys leaving? Yes. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, Can you open up a little further? After we leave, we'll be a little further away from the King battleground. A little further? Most of my origin world is shrouded in this place. It's not too far away. With your abilities, you can rush back in 10 minutes. That's enough. Fong Ping breathed a sigh of relief. That was enough. If they did not appear in the outside world directly and were surrounded by those true kings, then Kong Ling Yuan and the rest could escape. He was worried that after they left, those people would attack them without saying a word. Then Kong Ling Yuan and the rest would be in danger. Heaving a sigh of relief, Fong Ping continued, Senior, Junior still has a request. Senior, do you know if there was a powerhouse's corpse left behind among the martial artists who died in battle? I can't tell the specific characteristics, but the origin is very ancient. Using a sword, very cool. This was what Zhao Xingwu had told him before. Zhao Xingwu seemed to be looking for it. Not only Zhao Xingwu, but the people from Mount Wangu seemed to be looking for it too. At this moment, the people from Mount Wangu were still outside. Moreover, the owner of Mount Wangu was very powerful. Fong Ping wanted to try and see if he could find that corpse. It might be of some use. Ling Xiao took away his divine weapon at a critical moment. He was very upset. But sometimes he had to consider the big picture. Humans could not provoke a top-notch powerhouse who did not make their stance clear anymore, especially on Mount Wangu's side. It seemed like there was more than one emperor-level powerhouse. Even if he was unhappy, the other party had saved a few rank 8s and left. Fong Ping did not want to say anything. If he could use this corpse to exchange for Mount Wangu's help, then so be it if the divine weapon was taken away. Using a sword, the origin is ancient. His voice seemed a little abnormal. After a moment, he said slowly, Is it related to Mount Wangu? You know? Sigh. A sigh sounded again. Do you know, back then, why was this place chosen as the battleground? Fong Ping was at a loss. The second royal palace was here. Of course, this was chosen. Because here you can forget it. It's all in the past. Don't mention it. His voice was a little weathered as he said softly, The person has already passed away. It's useless to mention it. The corpse you're looking for has long been destroyed. However, back then, his weapon was left behind. Since you're asking, then bring his weapon out. If you meet Moon Spirit in Mount Wangu, tell her the person is already dead. Dead for a very, very long time. Don't look for him anymore. Thousands of years have passed. So what if you find him? If you find him, will he still be him? The voice's tone was a little weathered, a little lost. Fong Ping's gaze moved slightly. Listening to these words, could it be that this owner was the one he was looking for? It couldn't be. Mount Wangwu's owner was called Moon Spirit. According to this person, could it be that Moon Spirit was looking for her Tao partner? Yu Wuhua had said before that Moon Spirit's Tao partner was the son of a sovereign. He also had an elder brother, who was one of the 8 kings. If that was the case, Moon Spirit's Tao partner would not be too weak. The son of a sovereign should at least have emperor-level strength, right? Moon Spirit was known as the #1 powerhouse in the blessed grotto heaven. Then, her Tao partner might have been stronger than her back then. The owner of this source world was also extremely strong. According to Fong Ping's judgment, it was probably the source world of the so-called 36 saints, or even the powerhouses who were one step above the 8 kings. As for whether they would be stronger, he could not judge. If that was the case, it might really be the case. The owner of this place is that person. Don't you know Mount Wangu? That's true. This person's consciousness seems to have just recovered. Back then, even if Moon Spirit came, she might not be able to see anything, just as Fong Ping was thinking about this. Below the altar, a thin sword as thin as a cicada's wings suddenly shot out violently. Fong Ping dodged it hurriedly, but when he saw that the long sword did not have any murderous aura, only then did he grab it. As soon as he got it, Fong Ping's gaze moved again. He asked hurriedly, "Is this a divine weapon?" "It's not a divine weapon." The voice explained, "This is an emperor-level demon god from Misery Sea. When its lifespan reached its end, it used its own body as a material to forge an emperor weapon. Divine weapon, emperor weapon, divine weapon. Divine weapon is the weapon used by true gods." Fong Ping nodded slightly. When humans referred to divine weapons, they were referring to weapons used by rank 7 and above. It was not a big deal for ancient martial artists to call the weapons used by true gods divine weapons. Fong Ping caressed the long sword gently. The long sword seemed to be dead silent. The voice said again, "Divine weapons, emperor weapons, and divine weapons all need to be sacrificially refined. The sacrificially refinement has to become one with one's own origin. Only then can one command it with ease, eliminating the original aura of origin. This is the true unity of man and weapon. This sword has not been sacrificially refined for many years. It has long lost its sharpness." The voice paused. "Young friend, it's best if you can give this sword to Moon Spirit. It's not that I don't want to give it to you, but someone knows this sword. It's the sword owner's great enemy in the past. It's easy to attract trouble." Fong Ping said, "Of course, if it's possible, I will give it to the owner of Mount Wangu. However, if the other party is my enemy, Fong Ping will not lie to you, Senior. I will not give her an emperor weapon." The voice in the dark did not say anything. No one would give an emperor weapon to the enemy, of course. It did not exclude the possibility that some people would cultivate stupidly and insist on fulfilling their promises. After talking about these, Fong Ping said, "Senior, I'll have to trouble you then. Where can the exit be opened?" "Right here. The location where the altar is built is where the core of my source world is. Later, all of you stand on the altar. I will open a passage for all of you to leave. Thank you, Senior, for your help." Fong Ping thanked him again. As for whether the owner of this place would secretly harm the people who were sent away, he could not do anything about it now. He had to make every possible effort. Since this owner had given him a long sword, The possibility of him deliberately killing them now was not too high. It was better than going out and facing the two king's people. Of course, he would not leave. At this moment, Fong Ping was recuperating rapidly. He did not plan to leave. If he, who was carrying the gate of all beings, left with Kong Lingyuan and the rest, he would immediately bring trouble to these people. The others could leave, but he could not. Moreover, Fong Ping did not plan to leave either. Although his current combat strength was not as good as a true god's, in the face of such a crisis, he could not just stand by and watch. Even if he could hold up a true god for a while, it would be considered as doing his best. If humanity was really destroyed, he could not escape. He was a must-kill target for many people. If humanity was not destroyed, then he would not die either. At least old Zhang, and the rest would help him block those top-notch powerhouses. After a while, Fong Ping walked down from the altar. Without looking at Jiang Kuei and the rest, Fong Ping gave Kong Lingyuan a look. Kong Lingyuan's eyes were solemn as he followed Fong Ping to the side. The two of them looked at each other. Fong Ping transmitted his voice. Later, Elder Kong will leave with the remaining people. Remember, after you leave, stay a certain distance away from the grand battlefield. When that time comes, I will break the grand battlefield so that others will not be interested in hunting you down. Seeing that Kong Lingyuan was about to speak, Fong Ping raised his hand, not giving him a chance. He continued, "This time, humanity has suffered heavy losses. We can't afford any more losses. After Elder Kong leaves, don't return to Earth for the time being. Find a place with no one and hide first. Hide." Kong Lingyuan's expression changed. He transmitted his voice. "What exactly happened?" Fong Ping gave him a look and said in a low voice, "Now, all parties are targeting humanity. This time, the top-notch powerhouses all have a slim chance of surviving. Once the top-notch powerhouses are destroyed, humanity will be wiped out. Elder Kong, bring these people to hide. At least there will be some hope. Didn't we already expect this kind of thing to happen? The dead are not pitiful. Only the living are pitiful. Hatred for the country, hatred for the family, extinction of the race. I can't imagine how we can live on like this, but Elder Kong is older than me. I think Elder Kong can shoulder such a heavy responsibility." Kong Lingyuan's eyes were blood red. He clenched his fists, his meridians protruding. Extinction. Yes, this day. Had they not been preparing for it since a long time ago? However, when he heard Fong Ping say with his own ears that humanity might be wiped out this time, Kong Lingyuan still felt a little hysterical and crazy. Why? Why did they have to target humanity? Did the weak deserve to die? "Then I can't leave. Besides, I'm strong, more or less a part of the combat force." As Fong Ping said that, he added, "Don't delay anymore. Time is running out." Also, after Elder Kong leaves, quickly separate from Outland, overseas Immortal Islands, and other forces don't act together. Oh, right, overseas Immortal Islands. That guy from Skycloud Island is from the cult. Cult! Kong Lingyuan looked agitated. Fong Ping said quickly, "Ignore him." "I don't have time now. I just need to remember him. If I don't die this time, I'll look for him later and find out the background of that so-called God sect. Elder Kong, just be careful. When you get out, quickly separate from him." Fong Ping did not plan to kill the other party now. This was still the spy of the one God sect that he knew so far. This God sect was extremely powerful. Many things were secretly controlled by the other party. Fong Ping did not have time to care about it now, nor did he have the opportunity to do some things. When this was over, if he did not die, then he would have something to say. Since this person had been targeted by him, he would remember him. He even knew his background, so he could plan well. Kong Lingyuan took a deep breath, nodded, and did not speak. That's it then. Fong Ping said no more. He walked back, glanced at everyone, and said quickly, "All of you go out from the other exit later. Leave the Emperor-level avatars to me. Wait for a while. You can leave after I'm done with the king-crushing battle." Having said that, Fong Ping raised his hand to interrupt Jiang Kuei and the rest. He said lightly, "If you don't want to die, then listen to me. Right now, we're still comrades. I, Fong Ping, will not harm you at this time. If you trust me, then do it. If you don't, then do as you please." After a moment of silence, Jiang Kuei and the rest sighed and handed the Emperor-level avatars to Fong Ping. Fong Ping smiled, took the carriers, looked at the human powerhouses, and said with a smile, "Take care, everyone. Seniors, please bring back the corpses of those seniors who died in battle and bury them properly. If I don't die, I'll come back to pay tribute to these comrades with everyone." After saying that, Fong Ping stepped on the void and left, disappearing on the spot in an instant. Kong Lingyuan's expression was complicated. He looked around, sighed softly, and took the lead to step onto the altar. When the others saw that, some of them also had complicated expressions, but they all followed one after another. After a while, a violent wave came from afar. The entire space battlefield was shaking. At this moment, the altar split open. A pitch-black crack appeared, and a voice rang in everyone's ears. "Leave." As soon as the words were spoken, Kong Lingyuan did not ask anything. He was not in the mood to ask about this. He stepped into the crack, looked back at the distance one last time, and suddenly shouted in a low voice, "Humans never give in. Never give in. Even if our race is wiped out, as long as one of us is still alive, we will definitely take revenge. Definitely." Having said that, Kong Lingyuan did not even look back. He took to the skies and left 2 drops of blood tears sprinkling on the passageway. Unwillingness came from being weak. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.